कल नहीं आए थे? कल आए थे क्या? ओके, नॉट देयर। रिवाइज किया कल का थोड़ा बहुत? गुड मॉर्निंग ऑल ऑफ यू। तो स्टार्ट करते हैं। विल बेसिकली रिवाइज व्हाट सर हैज टॉट, ठीक है। उसके बाद विल आल्सो रिवाइज व्हाट वी हैव बीन मेकिंग नोट्स ऑफ क्लास में, जो जो भी पढ़ा हुआ लास्ट क्लास में। विल सॉल्व सम क्वेश्चंस, प्रीलिम्स बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस, एंड देन विल मूव टुवर्ड्स सोर्सेस ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ रहे हैं ना आप रेगुलर बेसिस पे? स्टार्ट किया है ना पढ़ना? ठीक। मॉर्निंग निशु, मॉर्निंग अनुराग। रिवाइज किया कल का सर के नोट्स एंड हमने जो पढ़ा था उसके नोट्स? हैव यू रिवाइज्ड? ओके, गुड गुड। क्या पढ़ा था कल? व्हाट हैव यू स्टडीड यस्टरडे? डेफिनेशन ऑफ स्टेट, पॉलिटी एंड स्टेट, राइट? एक ग्लास दे देना। व्हाट इज द स्टेट? मॉर्निंग। व्हाट इज स्टेट? 4 एलिमेंट्स बताओ, ठीक है। फर्स्ट टेरिटरी। अगर होता है ना कभी कोई याद नहीं आता तो एग्जाम्पल सोचा करो। इंडिया इज अ स्टेट, क्या क्या है इंडिया के पास? टेरिटरी, टेरिटरी, राइट। पॉपुलेशन, ऑर्गेनाइज्ड पॉपुलेशन, गवर्नमेंट, and most important sovereignty, right? These are the basic 4 elements of state, ठीक है। टेरिटरी, पॉपुलेशन, ऑर्गेनाइज्ड गवर्नमेंट, sovereignty। गुड गुड निशु। अब solve this question. How to zoom it? ठीक है। Which one? वहां कैसे देखेगा यार? Which one of the following best defines a state? दिख रहा है? नहीं दिख रहा होगा, राइट? रुक जाओ, पास जाओ, सामने बैठ जाओ ना। दिखेगा कैसे? I want you to solve this and how to zoom it? How to zoom it? एक मिनट। थोड़ा देखा डेस्कटॉप व्यू? Which one of the following, I can read it out for you. Morning, good morning all of you. Morning. Is it visible now, online students? Which one of the following best defines the state? Okay, then solve it. A option, a community of persons permanently occupying a definite territory independent of external control and possessing an organized government. ये 2021 का क्वेश्चन है यूपीएससी में, ठीक है. Second option, politically organized people of definite territory and possessing the authority to govern them, maintain law and order, protect their natural rights and safeguard their means of sustenance. Third, a number of persons who have been living in a definite territory for a long time and their own culture, tradition and government. And fourth is society permanently living in a definite territory with a central authority, an executive responsible to the central authority and an independent judiciary है वो, right? अब जो भी 4 elements of state आपने पढ़ा है, apply mind and solve this. What are the elements of state we have revised? ठीक है, जो अभी अभी आए. There are 4 elements of state, कल पढ़े थे आप लोग. A definite territory, ठीक है, population, organized government and sovereignty. उसके बेस पे try this. हाँ, ए कौन कौन बोल रहा है? बी, सी, ए. कैसे आप अलग वो कर रहे हो, कैसे इसको सॉल्व किया? ओके, गुड. टेरिटरी, गुड. सोवेरेंटी एंड पोजेसिंग ऑर्गेनाइज्ड गवर्नमेंट, राइट. लोग बेसिकली ना, व्हेन दिस क्वेश्चन केम इन 2021, इट वाज वेरी हार्ड और इट वाज इन प्रेशर. पीपल टेंड टू मेक मिस्टेक्स बिकॉज ये बीच में छुपा हुआ इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ एक्सटर्नल कंट्रोल, राइट. डायरेक्ट वर्ड सोवेरेंटी मेंशन नहीं है. हाँ, कम्युनिटी ऑफ पर्सन्स, यस, वो पॉपुलेशन लेकिन दिख रहा था. मेन वाज दिस. दूसरा था पॉलिटिकली ऑर्गेनाइज पीपल ऑफ डेफिनेट टेरिटरी है. नो, मेंटेन लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, प्रोटेक्ट देयर नेचुरल राइट्स, सेफगार्ड देयर मींस ऑफ सस्टेनेंस. ठीक है, तो समझ में आ गया ए आंसर क्यों था. ठीक है, आगे बढ़े. व्हाट यू हैव नेक्स्ट स्टडीज इज रूल ऑफ लॉ, राइट. ठीक है, क्या है रूल ऑफ लॉ? लॉ इज सुप्रीम. और क्या एलिमेंट्स और रूल ऑफ लॉ. ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स, ऑल ऑफ देम हैव मार्क्ड ए, दैट्स गुड. ठीक है, फॉर द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन स्टेट. हाँ, रूल ऑफ लॉ क्या क्या एलिमेंट्स हैं? व्हाट आर द एलिमेंट्स ऑफ रूल ऑफ लॉ और व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय स्पेशल प्रिविलेजेस won't be given, right? And everyone is equal. Equality before law. ठीक है, equality before law. And ठीक है, no basically special privileges you talked about. Okay, natural justice and human rights, absence of privileges, everyone equal before the law. Good. ठीक है, तो सबको बेसिक पता है, right? What is rule of law? Now try solving this question. दिख रहा है ना? Which of the following are regarded as the main features of the rule of law? This was in 2018 question. ठीक है, these are the 4 options. Eliminate them. ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट दिख रहा है ना? इज इट विजिबल? ट्राई टू सॉल्व दिस क्वेश्चन. Okay, Sashi says D. Okay, Vidhi says C. Kaveri says B. Atre says B. Fine. Vaishnavi says B. Nikita also says B. Nishu says B. आप लोग क्या बोल रहे हो? बी, वाई बी, वाई नॉट लिमिटेशन ऑफ पावर? The answer here is C. Answer here is C. ठीक है, 1, 2 and 4. ठीक है. So there are two things while solving a prelims question. Is it मतलब थोड़ा अर्ली आपको बताने के लिए जस्ट, लेकिन धीरे धीरे बेस बनेगा. ठीक है. एलिमिनेशन टेक्निक्स होते हैं, यू नो, अब बेसिक कुछ तो पता होगा, राइट? तो इसमें से देखो पीपल्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, देखो इसमें क्या सही है पहले उसमें जाते हैं. व्हाट यू नो ऑफ इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ, यू नो, गेटिंग इट? तो 2 तो रहेगा, तो ए हट गया, बी सी डी है. ठीक है. अब 2 और 4 सब में है. ठीक है, 2 4 एंड 2 and 4. ठीक है. तो बेसिकली 1 और 3 का गेम है. इसमें से कौन सा मतलब लग रहा है कि नहीं है? पीपल्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी टू द गवर्नमेंट कभी पढ़ा है? रूल ऑफ लॉ में क्यों नहीं होता? पीपल्स रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी क्यों होगा वो टुवर्ड्स द गवर्नमेंट? वो फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज की बात कर रहा है, राइट? इट्स नॉट रूल ऑफ लॉ. रूल ऑफ लॉ कौन देगा? लाइक, है ना, स्टेट देगा. ठीक है. इट हैज टू मेंटेन रूल ऑफ लॉ, इट हैज टू मेंटेन दैट जस्ट कंडीशंस, इट हैज टू मेंटेन दैट इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ. ठीक है. तो इफ यू एलिमिनेट दिस 3, 1 पहले हटा दिया था हमने, बिकॉज वी नो दैट इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ एग्जिस्ट. तो बचा 2 3 4. दिस पॉइंट इज वियर्ड. थर्ड पॉइंट हटा दिया हमने, थर्ड. बचा क्या? 2 4, सॉरी 1 2 4, राइट? 1 पहले हटा दिया हमने. 1 है, रुक जाओ यार, 3 हट गया बेसिकली, राइट? तो बी और सी बचा, है ना. 1 है लिमिटेशन ऑफ पावर्स. ठीक है. हाँ, स्टेट का है, तो इसलिए आंसर सी है. हाँ, ठीक है, सी. गेटिंग इट? सॉल्व हो गया. एग्जाम में भी सॉल्व हो जाना चाहिए, हो जाना चाहिए. हाँ, हाँ, ठीक है. इंडिविजुअल राइट वायलेट हो रहा है, लेकिन क्या है ना, जैसे इन द केस ऑफ प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन, नो, इफ समवन हैज बीन ट्राइड, ठीक है, और उसको मतलब थोड़े टाइम के लिए रखा है, ठीक है, उसके बाद कुछ टाइम के बाद छोड़ दिया, तो रूल ऑफ लॉ वायलेट नहीं हो रहा, बिकॉज इट इज प्रिवेंटिव. दैट इज रॉन्ग्स ऑफ जस्टिस. ठीक है, वो तो मतलब जस्टिस का गलत, हिस्टोरिकल रॉन्ग्स ऑफ जस्टिस कि अंडर ट्रायल का अगर हम केस ले लें, देयर आर मेनी अंडर ट्रायल्स इन द जेल. ठीक है, फॉर एग्जांपल 70% अंडर ट्रायल्स है जिनका केस का टाइम आया नहीं है, सुनवाई नहीं हो रही है, देयर आर नो लीगल हियरिंग्स, एंड उन्होंने अपना जो सेंटेंसिंग, अगर उनको सजा हुआ होता तो उससे ज़्यादा का टाइम काट लिया है जेल में, राइट? तो इट इज़ फेलियर ऑफ जस्टिस बेसिकली, राइट? दिस इज आइडियल थिंग, राइट? वो इन रियलिटी, ठीक है, वो क्या है? क्रिमिनल जस्टिस जो सिस्टम्स है, इंस्टीट्यूशंस है, उनका फेलियर है वो, राइट? समझ रहे हो? ये आइडिया है रूल ऑफ लॉ. गेटिंग इट? Y1 लिमिटेशन ऑफ पावर, गवर्नमेंट का लिमिटेशन है, तभी बेसिकली यू विल बी प्रोटेक्टेड फॉर योर फंडामेंटल राइट्स. ठीक है? हाँ, हाँ, that depends on case upon is how always, हमेशा स्टेट, कुछ भी फेलियर हो रहा है इंस्टीट्यूशन का तो हमेशा स्टेट ही रिस्पॉन्सिबल होता है. कॉम्पनसेशन एक्चुअली ना कोर्ट डिसाइड करता है, इट्स ऑन केस टू केस बेसिस, राइट? बिकॉज कितना ट्रॉमा गुजरा होगा, देन स्टेट कैन ओनली डिटरमाइन. कई के केसेस में कॉम्पनसेशन भी नहीं मिलता, इट्स जस्ट वन वर्ड सॉरी, right? So we cannot do anything about that for now. Yes, morning. So move. We'll take up later because only 10-15 minutes are left, right? We have revised. ये क्वेश्चन बन जाएगा 2 क्वेश्चन, ठीक है, कंसेप्ट क्लियर होना जरूरी है। श्योर,
how far or close the idea of one nation, one election impacts the basic rule of law.
वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन, सी वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन आप समझते हो, साइमल्टेनियस इलेक्शंस, ठीक है, इट इज योर फाउंडेशन क्लास बेसिकली। तो हम ग्रेजुअली चलिए, वन नेशन वन इलेक्शन का कंसेप्ट ये है कि हर पूरे स्टेट्स एंड लोकसभा और विधानसभा के इलेक्शन साथ में होने चाहिए, ठीक है। हाउ इट इम्पैक्ट रूल ऑफ लॉ, कैसे रूल ऑफ लॉ इम्पैक्ट होगा, ये आपका क्वेश्चन है। हाँ, देयर आर प्रोज एंड कॉन्स, देयर आर प्रोज एंड कॉन्स, इट्स जस्ट एन ओपिनियन। 1967 तक तो साथ में ही होते थे इलेक्शंस, राइट। तो रूल ऑफ लॉ में क्या इफेक्ट हुआ? नो 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 नो, इट्स नॉट अ ट्रांजिशन। 1967 तक तो आपके साथ में ही हो रहे थे ना। हाउ इट इज, अभी भी लगभग 5 स्टेट के इलेक्शंस और लोकसभा के इलेक्शन साथ में होते हैं। विल डिस्कस इट लेटर, ठीक है, इट्स नॉट रिलेटेड टू दैट, बट इट्स नॉट वायलेशन ऑफ रूल ऑफ लॉ, ठीक है। राइट डाउन, विल टुडे डिस्कस अबाउट सोर्सेस ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, राइट। कहाँ से इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के सोर्सेस लिए गए। In our class, we were discussing this about constitution, right? The making of constitution, Indian constitution, we have discussed in last class. ठीक है, उसको थोड़ा रिवाइज करते हैं, उसके बाद इस पे जाएंगे। Why we need constitution? One and another sets limit to the government. Okay. Okay. ठीक है, she said that, ठीक है, it sets the basic rules for minimal coordination, ठीक है। now background पता है क्या था, ठीक है, हाँ वो बैकग्राउंड है, ठीक है। who was the chairman of constituent assembly? नहीं, जब बन गया है, नॉट टेम्पोररी वन, डॉक्टर राजेंद्र प्रसाद। and who was the chairman when it met as a ordinary legislative body? हाँ, ओके, जीबी मलवनकर, ठीक है। अब मेजर कमिटीज, बैटमैन याद है? बताओ बताओ। हाँ, यार निमोनिक इज फॉर तुरंत याद आना चाहिए। बी आर अम्बेडकर, ठीक है, अय्यर अयंगर, कृष्णमाचारी, ठीक है, मुंशी, एन माधवराव, सैयद मोहम्मद सादुल्ला, ठीक है, कंफ्यूजन नहीं होना चाहिए। Now we'll move towards next part, right? Sources of Indian Constitution. Okay, good, Nikita. Batmans for drafting community members. Okay. Sources of Indian Constitution. Please write. Government of India Act 1935. You have studied Government of India Act 1935, right? In detail. So please tell me क्या क्या लिया गया था. What were the elements have been taken from that? Huh? Good. Diarchy at the, is it there? Like I'm like talking about, is it at the present? क्या लिया गया था in constitution? What was there? So federal, okay, federal scheme, service commission, okay, federal service commission. No, 1935 Nikita, 1935. थ्री लिस्ट पहले आया था, ओके, बट ओके, इट वाज 1934. प्लीज नोट डाउन. फर्स्ट पॉइंट फेडरल स्कीम, फर्स्ट पॉइंट फेडरल स्कीम, यस निकिता यू आर राइट, पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन. सेकेंड पॉइंट पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन, Public Service Commission. Third point, Office of Governor. Third point, Office of Governor. Fourth point, emergency provisions. Emergency provisions. Fifth, administrative details. Good, Sabha. Establishment of RBI. Bicameralism was earlier, right? Administrative details. Last one. Then British Constitution. British Constitution. What were the elements taken from British Constitution?
Parliamentary form of government.
Good. Because we inherited major, this parliamentary model from them. So major elements would be there, what you see today, right? So क्या होगा? What are the elements? Parliamentary form, right? Good. Bicameralism. देखो. Rule of law. What you have studied, rule of law, is taken from British Constitution. First, bicameralism. Second, rule of law. Third, parliamentary government. Parliamentary government. Good morning. Fourth, single citizenship. Single citizenship. Fifth, cabinet system. Fifth, cabinet system. Sixth, parliamentary privileges. Sixth, parliamentary privileges. Seventh, writs. WRITS, writs. Third, US Constitution, right? What were the elements taken from US Constitution? So just remember that, yes, basic fundamental rights and judiciary wala part, independence of judiciary wala part is being taken from US Constitution. Basic idea. Yes. So please write. First is fundamental rights. First point, fundamental rights. Second, independence of judiciary. Independence of judiciary. Third is judicial review. Judicial review. Fourth is impeachment of president. Impeachment of president. Fifth is removal of Supreme Court and High Court judges. Removal of Supreme Court and High Court judges. And sixth is post of vice president. Sixth is post of vice president. Major elements of rights and judiciary wala part, right? Getting it? US mein. You have to remember this in prelims, in mocks, the questions will be asked from these topics. Okay? Moving on, Irish Constitution. Last point. Soham, last point. Post of vice president was the last point. Post of vice president. Then moving to Irish Constitution. What were the major elements? DPSP, right? Right? अच्छा, tell me one thing. This, Irish में तो आया, Irish का हमने लिया. Irish से पहले किसके पास था? उन्होंने किसके लिया? हाँ, किससे लिया था? स्पेन. उसको नहीं लिखना, ठीक है? मेजर था, हमने आयरिश से लिया था, ठीक है? We took it from Irish. ठीक है? DPSP first. Second point, nomination of members to Rajya Sabha. Nomination of members to Rajya Sabha. Good, Vaishnavi, you know that. Spain. And third is method of election of president. Method of election of president. Fifth, Canadian Constitution. What were the major elements which took? No. Quasi-federalism. Okay. Yes. Quasi-federalism, right? With a unitary bias. So write down first point, federation with a strong center. Federation with a strong center. Yes, उसी को बोलते हैं quasi-federalism. Federation with a strong center. Second point, appointment of state governors by center. Second point, appointment of state governors by center. Third point, vesting of residuary powers in the center. Vesting of residuary powers in the center. Fourth point, advisory jurisdictions of Supreme Court. Advisory jurisdictions of Supreme Court. Next is Australian Constitution. What were the elements taken? What were the elements taken? Fourth point, please see the notes. Last point, advisory jurisdictions of Supreme Court. In Australian Constitution क्या क्या लिया था हमने? Cooperative federalism. So right, first point concurrent list. First point concurrent list. Concurrent list. Second point, freedom of trade and commerce. Freedom of trade and commerce. Third point, joint sitting of two houses of parliament. Joint sitting of two houses of parliament. Moving on to the Weimar Constitution, which is Germany. क्या लिया था? Anyone can guess? Basically emergency provisions, right? So write down. First point, suspensions of fundamental rights during emergency. Suspension of fundamental rights during emergency. Then USSR, जो कि सोवियत यूनियन, right? अभी क्या बोलते हैं उसको? रशिया, right? What were the elements? Good. Fundamental duties. First point, fundamental duties. Second point, ideals of justice. You have, different types of justice, ना? Political justice, social justice. कहाँ से आया? रशिया से. Getting it? सोवियत यूनियन से. तो ideals of justice, political, economic, and social. Then moving on, last point, French Constitution. What were the elements we took from French? Yes, the three ideals: liberty, equality, and fraternity. Write down. Huh? Yes, ideals of liberty, equality, fraternity. Second point, republic. Republic. Republic, fraternity, liberty. Okay, Vidhi, yes, equality, liberty, fraternity, and republic. Okay. So, on which point do you want repetition? Fine. So, revise it. एक बार पढ़ो एक बार. साउथ अफ्रीका, विल डू इट लेटर. अभी इतना करो. विल डू इट लेटर. इसको इतना रिवाइज करो. बाइकैमरलिज्म कहां से था? ब्रिटिश. फाइन, ठीक है. अच्छा लिखो, साउथ अफ्रीकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लिखो. आई थिंक देयर वाज नो टाइम. तो साउथ अफ्रीकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. फर्स्ट पॉइंट, प्रोसीजर फॉर अमेंडमेंट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. Procedure for amendment of constitution. Ashwin, I can do that. From the next class I will do, right? Mains oriented polity question. Do you want mains oriented polity questions? ठीक है, तो कल से we'll do that. ठीक है. You have to write, लेकिन structure बनाना पड़ेगा. Yes तो बोल दिया है, लेकिन हाँ. नहीं, लेकिन इतना सिंपल, दैट सिंपल वन डू नॉट गेट आस्क्ड इन द यूपीएससी. विल ट्राई वेरी मच मेंस ओरिएंटेड. किस टाइप का पूछ रहा है? इट इज वेरी डायनामिक. केस लॉज बेसिकली, ठीक है। नहीं उससे पहले भी व्हाट वी कैन, यहाँ से क्या कंटेंट उठा सकते हैं वो देखेंगे हम, ठीक है। Underpinnings, I know it is mentioned in syllabus, but the question which has been asked ना, criticism ये सब डायरेक्ट नहीं पूछना, ठीक है। विल डिस्कस मीन्स ओरिएंटेड क्वेश्चंस। ये तीनों साउथ अफ्रीकन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लिखा था। लास्ट पॉइंट क्या था, क्या लिखा? ओके, सेकंड पॉइंट, इलेक्शन ऑफ मेंबर्स ऑफ राज्यसभा, इलेक्शन ऑफ मेंबर्स ऑफ राज्यसभा। देन जापानीज कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, इसमें एक ही पॉइंट है, प्रोसीजर एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय लॉ, प्रोसीजर एस्टैब्लिश्ड बाय लॉ। ब्रिटिश सोर्सेज, ओके सभा। रूल ऑफ लॉ, कैबिनेट सिस्टम, पार्लियामेंट्री प्रिविलेजेस, पार्लियामेंट्री गवर्नमेंट, सिंगल सिटीजनशिप, bicameralism and writs. First point of Government of India 1935, federal scheme. Right, we are ending the class. Huh? Due process of law is basically American, and procedure established by law is basically Japan. Huh? Procedure established by law India has, but in मेनका गांधी केस वो ड्यू प्रोसेस ऑफ लॉ इन इट्स नॉट एक्सप्लिसिट, वो इम्प्लिसिट है फिलहाल, लेकिन वी फॉलो बोथ, ठीक है। इसको रिवाइज कर लेना, रिवाइज इट।
Good morning, friends. So, how are you doing? Huh? What is polity, यार? ये बताओ मुझे. Before I start teaching you, huh? Okay, okay, good. You have started using words. And power of authority. Huh? Not necessarily. हाँ बेटा है ना, but not necessarily, because power only Alauddin Khilji also had. But see, as soon as he was a very powerful ruler, but he left, and after that Khiljis could not, the dynasty could not continue. Very soon it saw its fall. And absolute power corrupts, absolutely. No, it's not necessarily, beta.
Nature have power to corrupt.
नहीं, it has been said, beta. Lord Acton said it. The saying that you have used is actually by Lord Acton. No, I'm telling you, because even an essay can come, you know, that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And what a wonderful topic we are in, that you can use it for your essay also. That entire rise of the thought of modern polity principles have been somewhere to prevent this corrupt only, this power only to or from going corrupt. Till the time it has been said, Lord Acton has further said that any power that is unchecked will go despotic. So it means if power is having checks and balances, it can be prevented from going despotic. ठीक है? Anyway, अभी एक ही दिन हुआ है, आगे देखते हैं. So yes sir, please.
Differentiate between polity and politics. And
That's right. See, why only polity and politics? Let's differentiate between political science, polity and politics. तीनों ही समझ लेते हैं.
bad polity and dirty politics.
ये तो दिल के शब्द हैं, पहले कॉन्सेप्चुअल समझ लें. ये थोड़ा दिल से आया था. आई गॉट इट. ये अभी समझा देता हूँ. सी फ्रेंड, पॉलिटिकल साइंस is the philosophical discipline associated with what will be institution, what will be law, what do you mean by democracy, everything. So they will research on various aspects. So philosophical discipline associated with developing hypothesis, then trying to prove it, then if many are accepting it, declaring it a theory. ये तो हो गया बेटा पॉलिटिकल साइंस. ठीक है. व्हाट इज पॉलिटी? पॉलिटी सिंपली इज द स्टडी ऑफ दैट हाउ थिंग्स आर मैनेज्ड हियर नाउ. हाउ थिंग्स आर मैनेज्ड हियर नाउ. तो स्टडी ऑफ दैट. लाइक इफ आई से पॉलिटी इज डायनेमिक, करेक्ट? दैट्स राइट. In 1950s it was something different. In 2023 it is something different. So political science as a theory is different thing. It is that discipline that is studying it. But when I say polity, you study the institutions, you study the what is the basic principle. If I ask you to discuss polity of Afghanistan now in the current times and how in the last 5 years it has witnessed a sea change, आप कर सकते हैं? You will talk about the principles on what basis earlier the government in Afghanistan was running and now for last a couple of years how it is running there. कर सकते हो discuss, no problem. ये polity discuss हुई, political science नहीं. Political science will enter into discussions of that is it okay to run a state on the basis of Sharia or not. ये political science का discussion चला जाएगा. हम थोड़ा brief रहेंगे. We will be slightly less. We will only say that traditional principles may not be able to actually inculcate in them the current challenges. So very likely such a polity will be a failure. ठीक है? आसानी से कह सकते हैं. हम तो बस इतना ही कह पाएंगे. But in political science, they will actually develop a conceptual framework, a theoretical framework. तो पहले तो literature review करेंगे that when in ancient times, in Athens or in India or somewhere else, they can go to Mesopotamia also, the modern Iraq. उसको भी पढ़ेंगे वो तो. That whether any time it was that state was run on the basis of some religious dictates. ठीक है? कहीं टिक लगाएंगे, कहीं क्रॉस करेंगे, and then they will actually come out with a hypothesis that this can be the general conclusion. ये political science हुआ. अब politics में आते हैं. Politics is basically a domain, and don't say it is dirty, I will come to that, is a domain where different political ideologies, please come, where different political ideologies come together and have discussions within them in order to achieve a more coherent answer to the demands of policies at that given time. So politics is polity in action. Politics is polity in action, and that is why, my child, politics can be bad also, because if you use it in a wrong manner, if you manipulate it, it will become dirty politics. Like Article 356 is given in your constitution, है ना बेटा, President's rule. President's rule can be there. It is not a bad article if I say there is nothing wrong in it. To prevent integrity of the nation, to ensure that citizens in all the states of India enjoy same constitutional privileges, we require it. So they have written that President, on receiving a communication from governor or otherwise, अपने आप भी कर सकता है, can do it, can assume the executive powers of the state in his own office. This is known as President's rule. If he is of the opinion that there is a threat of constitutional machinery getting failed in the state. सुनने में बात कुछ खराब नहीं लगी? Whether it was something very bad what I have said? No. But sir, when I start using it only for the reason that my party is X in the center and the party in the state is Y or Z, and let me overtake the power, let me encroach their power also, it becomes dirty politics. Got it now? So this is the difference between them. Anyway, sir, can we say polity is the current manner in which a state is governed? Manner में politics भी आ जाएगा इतरे. In manner, even politics will come. We are not studying politics, beta. We are studying polity. We try to analyze politics also associated with it when we say that whether the governor has acted as per the constitutional spirit or not. Analyze in the light of suitable examples. There we discuss how it has been used also. But first of all, what is more important for us to know that in regard to polity, what all is actually existing, that is more important for us. Okay? So friends, yesterday I think we talked about equality, and some of you were able to answer, but some found problem on it also. So equality, if I talk about, sir, is one of the celebrated value which can be traced even from Immanuel Kant, his maxims, right? Am I right? You have read Immanuel Kant earlier? So which maxim I am talking about? पढ़ा है तो बताओ. हाँ, कैटेगोरिकल इंपेरेटिव्स के मैक्सिम्स क्या हैं? CI तो उसका थॉट हो गया. To actually identify. See, he is a deontologist. So, CI is the basic idea that if it is being followed, then it is right or wrong. If not followed, wrong. If followed, right. So that is CI, categorical imperative. Means बीच में कोई स्कोप नहीं है, सही या गलत ही होगा. That is imperative word आ गया ना बेटा, categorical imperative. So either it will be right or it will be wrong. If I said do not steal, so whether you are hungry for 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, do not steal means do not steal. Categorical imperative. So if you steal, immediately your conduct will be declared wrong without any excuses from your side. ठीक है, वो तो एक बात हो गई. I am asking, when I said it, equality can be traced even from the maxims of Immanuel Kant. What I am referring to? You can say, sir, you are referring to the third maxim, kingdom of ends. नहीं सुना हुआ, कोई बात नहीं, मैं बता देता हूं. Kingdom of ends, ENDS, ends. Okay, beta, there are two things, means and ends. So he said in his third maxim that a state, that is society, shall be seen as kingdom of ends and not of means. Means no one shall use people as means to achieve their ends. ठीक है बेटा, तो कहां कहां यूज कर सकते हो? अरे बड़ी जगह यूज हो गई. आर्टिकल 23, traffic in human beings. Human beings are used as means only, no? When I traffic them, I will be using them as means only. Otherwise, how I will use? So, equality की अगर हम philosophy की बात करें, so if I talk about philosophy of equality, then you say, yes, it is very handy to actually talk. Because in kingdom of ends, everyone is considered as the legislator, means equivalent. सर्किल तो याद है ही आपको. सी जर्मन थिंकर्स सोचते बहुत अच्छा थे, इसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है. ये सर्किल याद है ना? एंड वी टॉक्ड अबाउट व्हाट, दैट दिस सर्किल मींस एवरीवन इज इक्वल. इक्वालिटी तो पढ़ा रहा हूं. एंड ही इज यूजिंग द टर्म व्हाट, kingdom of ends. So it means in this political circle, all citizens are equals. No one shall be, no one is inferior, no stratification, no privileges for anyone. यही तो हुआ इसका मतलब. If any privilege is there, that will be for all. If anything is there, that will be for all. It will not be for anybody in selective manner. ये equality है भाई. This is equality. Let's write it. So now you are getting you can use children polity, these thoughts in your ethics paper. That is very important. I am trying to give you from that perspective only. कोर वैल्यूज है ना बेटा ये. इन एनी केस स्टडी, बी श्योर दे विल कम 100%. Only capacities can you use it, and that makes you whether you are in the list or out of the list. Because if you can discuss something at the level of equality, the best advocates of India, the best, who have been those? Those who are expert of Article 14, that's all. They used to make any writ associated with Article 14 and nothing like it. 14, 19 and 21, golden triangle, said by the apex court as well. So it means if you understand these, if Supreme Court is saying it is a golden triangle, so why you do not use it in your ethics paper? Why you do not use it in your economy paper? खाली पॉलिटी का मतलब पॉलिटी तक ही थोड़ी है भाई. Use them. Because everywhere this issue will come. Use it in your first paper also, whenever you are talking of Indian society. Why don't you use it? But you will be able to use when you will know them properly. ठीक है? अब लिखें थोड़ा इक्वालिटी पे, बिकॉज वी आर राइटिंग बेसिक्स. सो आई एम नॉट लिमिटेड टू आर्टिकल 14, रादर वी आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट इक्वालिटी मीन्स. प्लीज राइट. We are writing, kids, those who are online, about equality. Give the heading equality and start writing. Please write. Equality is one of the cardinal values of any society that attempts to declare it a progressive society and a society based upon ethical framework of constitutional principles. Ethical framework of constitutional principles. कौन सा वर्ड यूज कर दिया? एथिकल. तो यूपीएससी में अगर क्वेश्चन आ जाए दैट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म प्रोवाइड्स एथिक्स टू एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, तो घबरा मत जाइएगा, समझ जाइएगा, अरे एथिक्स का मतलब सही की तरफ ले जाने वाला. ओके, सो एथिक्स याद करो जरा फिलॉसफी की डेफिनेशन. व्हाट इज एथिक्स? What is ethics? In philosophy, it is seen as that branch. Ethics is considered that branch which attempts to study morality, establishing what is right and what is wrong, and the principles of that. वहां पर भी तो मेटा एथिक्स चाहिए. Am I right? So now you know that okay sir, constitutional principles, it means can be written. Yes, and equality is one of them. आगे बढ़िए. Full stop. Next point, equality in its simple connotation, equality in its simple connotation will mean absence of privileges. इसको अंडरलाइन कीजिएगा प्लीज, अंडरलाइन एब्सेंस ऑफ प्रिविलेजेस. 90% बेटा यही वाली लाइन लिखी हुई आएगी. 90% in exam will mean absence of privileges, that is absence of any sort of stratification. In terms of access rights, ठीक है जी. आर्टिकल 15 समझ में आ जाएगा यहां से एकदम से, यू हैव गॉन थ्रू. आर्टिकल 15 इज नथिंग बट राइट टू एक्सेस ऑन इक्वल एस्पेक्ट्स. Any pond, any temple, whatever, wherever you want to go. Okay, any public place, there should not be any restriction. So equality is basically the arrangement that it should not happen that someone is having more right to access and someone is having less right to access. Indians and dogs not allowed. Where is equality? How they could have said that they are actually running the Indian arrangement based on good principles, very bad principle. Why we were actually fighting right from 1860s and especially from 1870s more vigorously for Indianization of civil services. See sir, if I am not able, don't take me. If I am not eligible, don't take me. If I am not qualified, don't take me. If I am not meritorious, don't take me. It's okay. But if I am better than Mr. George of yours, if I have more knowledge than Mr. George of yours, then why I should not be taken? So it is not just a legal question, my child. It is an ethical question. So polity attempts to bring ethics in running of administration. Constitutional values attempts to bring ethics in management of authority and power. थोड़ा आसान लगने लगी हमें पॉलिटी भी अब. And you also know why UPSC passing is also very easy, provided you have this type of thought process. It's very easy. use in essay freely. So when you are studying constitution, try to think you are studying paper 4 as well. At least till the time we are studying till fundamental rights. Cardinal values means ethics of state. What is constitutional morality? They asked you. Constitutional morality simply talks of all those values which celebrate in ethical functioning, like comma comma comma. सबसे पहले तो इक्वालिटी डाल दीजिए. So rule of law, don't you think, attempts to bring equality? So it is an ethical principle, sir. So it is one of the pillars of constitutional morality of India. What was there in this question? So easy. But provided you develop that type of perspective, okay, provided you develop that type of perspective, whether you consider your parliament as your temple, that is your religious place, church, mosque, whatever, or you simply consider it a place to simply fight and have conflicts, totally depends on your perspective, how much you respect. This is actually an ethical work. That is why what we call them Mananiye. We call them the respected sirs, na? Why? Why we have given them privileges? Because we thought they are doing a religious duty. Why we use the term minister? For those who are taking the portfolios, ministerial duties, you know, in English literature. What is ministerial duty? Church related duty, ecclesiastical function. सम्मान तो बहुत दिया, उन्होंने भी लौटाकर कुछ दिया नहीं हमें, that is different thing. So it means polity is based on such concrete values which will ensure your welfare, your welfare, your welfare, my welfare, everyone's welfare, and will attempt to bring down any sort of discrimination, stratification that has been continuing in the society. Right, sir? So after learning these principles, you will say, sir, it means Taliban polity is a bad polity, right? Outrightly. Yes. If equality is missing, 100% it's bad polity. एक वैल्यू तो हमें मिल गई. Because if anything, beta, anywhere, if equality will be missing, it is bad polity. Why Ilbert bill controversy? Should not have been there. Okay, Repunch time. Why Ilbert bill controversy? It means English were bad. They were not great people. They tried to call them good people, but they were extremely bad people. This is the, अभी तो पहली वैल्यू शुरू की है हमने in terms of values. Otherwise, we were seeing principles. And we are seeing. So, if you and me, out of us, anyone is not treating other with equality, is doing a political sin. That's right. So, this is the significance of equality. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Proceed. That's why 5 articles, my child, related to equality in Constitution. For freedom, 4. Okay. For religion, 4. For exploitation, 2. For cultural and other things, 2. For remedies, 1. But for equality, 5. बड़ी बात है. आगे बढ़ते हैं और लिखते हैं जो यूपीएससी लैंग्वेज डालकर पूछ सकती है. आई एम ट्राइंग टू यूज देम इन द सेंटेंस एंड हेल्प यू आउट सो दैट इफ अ मेंस क्वेश्चन कम्स you are able to somewhere address it and answer it. Right, sir? अगला लिखिए. Equality means the essential framework wherein equality of status and opportunity exists, and there exists a genuine equality before the law. Equality, next point, equality attempts to establish a social, economic and political order, a social, economic and political order wherein every member could be seen enjoying the three maxims of Immanuel Kant. So, otherwise in my polity do not write that, but here if you are not knowing, I will give you the three maxims also. You know them? No? तो कहीं लिख लीजिए the three maxims, but put them in a block. Last word spelling is okay. Last word is the name beta, Immanuel Kant. Somanand, are you able to follow? He was a German philosopher child. Okay. So now put a box like this and write the three maxims in it. You will be using them more in your paper 4. But if required, if they use sir constitutional morality, लगा देना. Then don't be defensive. When they themselves are entering into it, because equality is nothing but ethics. Both start with E and both have the same purpose. Both have the same purpose. But this is reasoned ethics. Equality is reasoned ethics. Okay? G. First maxim. Act by such a will. Aditi, I will repeat after completing it. Please write what I am dictating now, beta. Then I will repeat whatever you are asking. Okay? Please write. Act by such a will that you at once can will maxim exact उसी की लैंग्वेज में लिखा रहा हूं, but only not in German, in English. Act by such a will that you at once can will that this will be made a law. You got anything? Understood? Put will in inverted commas and you will get the meaning everywhere. It simply means ऐसी इच्छा से काम करो कि साथ के साथ ये इच्छा कर सको कि ऐसी इच्छा को एक विधि बना दिया जाए. Means if I can take advantage of someone, then everyone can take advantage. It cannot be selective. If I can jump red light, then it should be for everyone. Then I should not mind. It should not be that when I am doing harm to someone else, it is okay. But when someone else is doing harm to me, I suddenly feel bad. That is act by such a will that you at once can will that this will be made a law. ठीक है? पहली मैक्सिम इक्वालिटी की तो है, वी कीप ऑन टॉकिंग ऑफ इक्वालिटी. ओके, थिंक ऑफ अ वेरी, थोड़ा सोच कर देखिए, बड़ा स्ट्रेंज सा सीन है, बट दैट हैपेंस इन इंडिया. वी हैव लॉट ऑफ केसेस स्टिल रजिस्टर्ड ऑफ डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस एंड थप्पड़ मूवी वाज आल्सो देयर, कि एक थप्पड़ ही तो मार दिया. व्हाट इज देयर, लेट्स ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. चलिए ओके, इसको कानून बना देते हैं. लेट्स अप्लाई फर्स्ट मैक्सिम. हस्बैंड एंटर्ड and slapped wife, and wife said, why? Yeah, mood was not good today in office, a lot of tension and other things. Okay, and wife notes it is a law. Next day husband enters, wife gives a tight one, and then husband said, what happened? Serial was useless. See, Ekta Kapoor is doing what? I got disturbed. So if husband is ready for it, then the first is right, otherwise no one is right. Pardon? One way नहीं हो सकता है. So if you want some people to do begar for you, then be ready to do begar for some others. क्योंकि कानून बन गया अभी. So what a fantastic maxim of equality. What a beautiful maxim. That before you take any privilege, be ready to accept it. Now everyone is having privilege of it. Same privilege. ठीक? Maxim is, my child, which become cardinal rules. ठीक है? बैकबोन प्रिंसिपल्स को मैक्सिम बोलते हैं, जो रीढ़ की हड्डी बन जाते हैं किसी विचार की. जी, सेकंड मैक्सिम. In Iran also hijab is forced. So Aditi, that can never be appreciated, my child. Anything in the name of morality, if it is happening, it cannot be simply accepted, because equality is realized equality, genuinely realized equality. So in Indian society also, my kids, we are having it or not, we have to actually achieve it. If in any form, any sort of untouchability is going on, if in any form, any sort of discrimination on the basis of sex or anything else is going on, that is not equality. Because equality is only seen achieved, sir, when we have it genuinely realized in functioning. Books में लिखने से नहीं होता है. It is not that you write in books. It is that it is realized at ground level. Second maxim भी लिख दीजिए. Yes, sir.
No doubt India and other countries have constitution. Do we have constitutionalism?
Beta, what is constitutionalism? What they did in Constituent Assembly, na, that was constitutionalism only. Whenever we go for making any amendment, when Supreme Court is evolving basic structure, constitutionalism कुछ नहीं, constitution की विचार. You are right. I am saying it is not enough to have it only in our book and we keep it in our Sansad and all. Rather it should be taken to the grassroots. यही आपका यूपीएससी का पेपर है. इसको अच्छे से दिल में बिठा लीजिए and you will be selected. Study it from that perspective. Whether you are studying irrigation in economics, whether you are studying agriculture, whether you are studying IR, try to understand it. I have to be a person who will genuinely work for equality, and equality does not mean that only a selective set of people are happy. Rather it means that it is realized at the grassroots for everyone. ना रिलीजियस डिस्टिंक्शन हो सकता है सर, ना रेशियल हो सकता है, ना रीजनल हो सकता है. फॉरगेट कास्ट एंड सेक्स, even they are not possible. Then you say we have achieved genuine equality. Right, sir? America, which is actually trying to preach, they had Martin Luther King in 1950s. कहाँ equality थी? They talk rubbish. In Hollywood movies, they just show some people that see blacks and whites are marrying. Come on, limit it to Bollywood. Sorry, they're Hollywood movies. Actual practices, don't you see they shoot down? What happens? Where is the equality? We actually are having more equality than these people, because our values are grounded on that basis. But if somewhere it is not there, it is very serious, and on that definitely questions can be there. No discrimination. That's the basic idea of equality. ठीक है, थर्ड मैक्सिम भी लिख लीजिए सर. सॉरी, सेकंड नहीं लिखिए, अभी तो सेकंड लिखिए. एक्ट बाय सच मीन्स, act by such means that no human is used as a means to the ends. No human is used as a means to the ends. So, sir, bandhua mazdoor, any sort of trafficking, this maxim should be used. So, when you are learning Article 23, do not learn without it. Why? Using people against their will or giving them any sort of compensation less than minimum wages or not giving them fair wages is a social sin, political sin, and minimum wages is legal crime also. It is actually a social sin as well. It is a social sin as well, political sin. सेकंड मैक्सिम हो गया, समझ में आई है? ऐसे साधन से कार्य कीजिए दैट कोई भी मानव आपके साध्य हेतु साधन ना बन जाए. That was exactly in Hindi. In English is act by such means that no human become a means to your ends. Third one, kingdom of ends. Third maxim is kingdom of ends. ENDS, ends. Kingdom of ends. That is every person can be considered as an independent legislator with a free will to legislate. So, without universal adult franchisee, any democracy will exist, and without universal adult franchisee, beta, any sort of political equality can be thought. अब आप समझने लग गए कहां कहां यूज कर सकता हूं, where all I can use it. Now you have started realizing कि ये तो आसान होने वाला है. If I understand principles, if I do not try to just limit them to Article 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, I can use them freely. These are the articles which can be easily used anywhere. Fine friends, any doubts in understanding now equality? So, equality in principle means no discrimination on any basis. ये भी लाइन डाली लीजिए. Equality in principle means, अब अलग से नोट्स वाले में डाल लीजिए, मैक्सिमम यानी ब्लॉक खत्म कर दीजिए, अब अलग से डाल लीजिए. इक्वालिटी इन प्रिंसिपल मीन्स सिद्धांत में, इक्वालिटी इन प्रिंसिपल मीन्स दैट नो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन on any ground That is, in Indian society caste was there, तो पहला word caste डाल लीजिए. Caste, sex, race, okay, place of birth, religion, region, ethnicity, economic class, etc. Is it right? Do you think on, have you traveled by Indian Rail sometimes? Yeah. You have seen waiting halls there, AC first class. I think you are getting my point. AC first class waiting hall. And sometimes if it is only one, they put AC 2-tier also with that only. And then there is a separate waiting hall for second class, in which they include sleeper also. Our own father of nation was thrown from a coach. Chaliye, in train it is okay, fine, somebody is paying more, so is enjoying that coach. But on the station, how come facilities are not equally provided? Purely colonial legacy. No one has raised a question, so they have continued. Waiting hall कैसे अलग अलग हो सकते हैं भाई? How is it possible? Water, any other thing on the station, because they have not paid for the station. They have paid only for the train. Then how the facilities on the station can be different? They cannot be. So, put up PIL, खुलवाइए सारे. All the waiting halls shall be open for everyone. जी?
AC waiting room for general. The general ticket for general tickets.
सर प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, आपने वेटिंग रूम के पैसे नहीं दिए हैं. Either make it a paid launch, then I will accept it. You have only paid when you have boarded the train. Only for that. On the platform, everyone is equal. On the platform, otherwise it becomes Titanic ना सर, कि फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल उनके लिए शटर्स बंद कर दीजिए जो थर्ड क्लास में हैं, एंड दोज हु आर इन ट्रेवलिंग इन फर्स्ट क्लास यू यूज बोट्स ओनली फॉर देम. आप ट्रेन में गई नहीं, इसका मतलब यूज ओनली फ्लाइट्स हैं. सर एयरपोर्ट चलिए, वो पेड कह देते हैं ना जी, क्रेडिट कार्ड दीजिए, कुछ दीजिए. वो स्मार्ट हो गए हैं सर, उन्हें मालूम है कोई केस कर देगा यहाँ पे. बहुत वकील टहलते हैं. They know it. How can they differentiate? Facilities cannot be differentiated for what you have not paid. They should come equally to everyone. They cannot come separate. But, ji sir, pardon? Only once you are inside, there you have paid something. And there it is possible. Otherwise, it is a discrimination. PIL? PIL, public interest litigation, and Supreme Court will ensure that they are opened.
Is there any case going on?
हाँ?
Is there any case going on?
आप कुछ तो आपको भी करना है ना. I ensured at Madurai that a family which was just outside, I made them to enter in that hall. I did it myself. And the station master initially was saying lot of things, but later on just wanted to resolve things that okay, इनको ले लीजिए, take them. Not at all. I am not the torch bearer. I am just talking about it because I try to teach from the heart. So I also expect that you take it to that level and use it. Then only you will be able to use freely in your exam also. Otherwise use ही नहीं कर पाओगे आप. Now you are free. Slave मत बनो. Don't be a slave of polity. Be a friend of polity. And friend means बराबरी, equality.
We can go and use those waiting rooms.
4 कहानी उन्हें बताना अपने आप कि call your station master and tell him that whether they have paid for it. Just ask it. They said they have purchased the ticket, so it is on the train. Record it. Send it to Justice Chandrachud. जबरदस्त आदमी है भाई, वंडरफुल पर्सन. जाते जाते वेटिंग हॉल तो खुलवा ही जाएंगे. But Indian Railway will immediately react by putting some sort of entry fee for that. Then we cannot do anything. Once extra charges are there, then we cannot do anything. Okay? Anyway, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let us not be emotional. Let us proceed further. अब लिबर्टी की बात करते हैं. इक्वालिटी तो सीखी. More we will learn when we are touching Article 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18. Let's talk now of liberty, freedom. So let's start it with also a question. Rakhi, Aditi, everyone ready for a question? Nikita? Okay. Rachit, great. Vidhi. Let's have the question. Which of the following best explains the term liberty, the word liberty in inverted commas, and then starts A, B, C, D. A, absence of restrictions on the actions of individuals. B, limited restrictions which the state find useful for exercise of its authority. C, freedom to develop to one's potential, O-N-E apostrophe S, one's potential. D, the thesis that a state shall not interfere in the affairs of individuals. Oh, just Ritvik, you have started answering, huh? Good. Anyway. Universal answer is coming. That's nice. Vaishnavi, Muhammad Masood. Yes, Muhammad, you may be right. This time it is not a Titanic. Vidhi, Soma, Anamika, Saba, Shashi, Rachit, Bahabuddin. Great. Fine. So I have the Nishu. Let's have house divide here also. Who all are with A? Who all are with B? Now you can raise your hand. Fine. Who all are with C? And who all are with D? C is the right answer, sir. C is the right answer. Any doubts? So let's write something about it. Liberty को भी देख लेते हैं क्या है. So children, when you are talking of liberty, then as in your NCERT also has been there, you talked of NCERT, so let me talk from there also. When they, political theory, liberty chapter is there. When they start talking about it, in first 2 pages it appears like absence of all forms of restraints. But then J.S. Mill brings the idea that such a situation ultimately will bring a restriction on the liberty of others. That is where NCERT has provided. थोड़ा सा modify करके अच्छे से लिख लेते हैं. That's the same thing. Using some other books as well. Please write liberty. So why reasonable restrictions are there on your liberty? Now you know the reason. The reason is better simple. You say this is the person and there should be full freedom. Agreed. Think of a hypothetical situation, let's agree to it. But now I see another person also. So till the time it is pertaining to his own self or her own self, I can accept it. But when it starts affecting this person's zone, then I see it is somewhere wrong. Where is the genuine idea of liberty followed? That's right. That is where we still talk of various issues. Okay, Supreme Court also has been asking that a rape in a marriage also shall be a rape. But government is saying it will make things very complex. It will be very difficult to establish. Is that right? So where it is coming? You have freedom only till your own self. Marriage is not giving you the right to enter into someone else's freedom and choice. ठीक है? Conceptual समझते हैं. What is liberty? एक और चीज निकालते हैं. What is liberty? Okay? Liberty is, first of all, it will be in terms of thought and expression. Automatically that is the outside expression of it only. That I should be free to whatever I want to think. Okay. So it means Article 25 is nothing but promotion of this idea only. But freedom of conscience is what? जो आप सोचना चाहो. You want to have faith. You don't want to have faith. There should be complete freedom. So 19 is celebrated. It means liberty is celebrated and it will lead to various other forms of liberty as well. Right, sir? Thought. More. Then I say that it is basically also associated with choice. Because an individual is nothing. When I talk of an ethical framework for individual, then I say respect for individual existence, dignity. Life with dignity is a right. Life with dignity is a right. It is included in right to life only. Right, sir? Right against defamation, right against all those things will be falling in it. So, it is nothing but expression of liberty. That is why right to life is one of the most celebrated principles of liberty. And you see, children, two articles of liberty are in golden triangle, 19 and 21. 14 तो equality का था. But of liberty, two articles are there in golden triangle, 19 and 21. Because it is with liberty only that first of all you can grow to your full potential. So it means any caste based occupation that Indian society suffered for ages was not only unethical but almost a political sin as well. Social sin to tha hi, but it was a political sin as well. So all those rulers who continued to exist in those times, it means they never gave heed to this essential idea of Rajya Prashasan, that you should actually believe in liberty of choice, freedom. That is one essential aspect, correct? So when you talk of liberty, you talk of that between these two people, there should always be a respectful relation. I have freedom of expression, but not to abuse you. Abusive language will not come under freedom of expression. That will not come. You all are kids. Nowadays, I keep hearing from my own kids also that today there was a roast session. You must have heard of these things. College mein roasting. And they say we used abuses. I said, come on. How can you? The teachers were also there and we used abuses also. I said, what? They said, Papa, it is roast, no? In roast, you don't understand. We are free to talk anything. No, sir. Something that will touch your dignity, I have no right to say even during a roast. Okay? Ideas, I can, that your ideas are wrong. It's okay. But I have no right to say you are wrong. Ideas are wrong. Because I have this idea. Okay? So, liberty establishes, क्या establish करती है? Respectful relations between the two. And that is where, first of all, I should respect your personal zone, your thought process, your choices and everything. लिख डालिए अब इसको. So, right to marry by one's own choice. In Hadia versus State of Kerala case, whether decision for Supreme Court should have been very difficult to reach. केस पढ़ा हुआ है हादिया वर्सेस स्टेट ऑफ केरला, आगे पढ़ेंगे, लेकिन बता देता हूं कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट को कितना आसान रहा होगा, हाउ इजी इट मस्ट हैव बीन फॉर सुप्रीम कोर्ट टू रीच द डिसीजन. Marriage by choice by a girl who converted to Islam in Kerala, and that was also by choice, her conversion. So, who are you? Supreme Court asked the family. Come on, respect the idea of liberty. The question is not this, that you can talk within, that can be a family matter, but you cannot stop. They are not your property. So which Kerala High Court could not, Supreme Court reached very easily. Why? They simply use the religious idea of liberty. With choice, नहीं रोक सकते. You cannot आर्टिकल, हाँ 21 में एग्जाम में लगाते हैं, आप तो समझ लीजिए ना। 377 का हटाना, 497 का हटाना, ओके। नवतेज जौहर 377 रिमूवल, ओके। तो किस आधार पे? लिबर्टी। ये सब लिबर्टी की बातें हैं। दीज ऑल आर एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ liberty. Anyway, let's write something. Liberty refers to the idea of freedom that an individual shall be having in regard to his or her thought process, comma expression, comma learning, comma faith, comma personal choices of life, etc. It is important to note that liberty, that the idea of liberty is progressive in nature. Idea of liberty is progressive in nature. And for this reason, active euthanasia, and for this reason, active euthanasia may not be acceptable. Right to die. Euthanasia simply means right to die. So active euthanasia will not be in it. That will not be included in it. Any doubts? So
Progressive, then it should include the right to die.
no. Progressive is only that you develop yourself. I cannot give you right to destroy yourself. So I can also stop you from taking certain drugs. I can prevent you from being Sanju.
Some cases like the medical emergencies, is it
Passive euthanasia, na beta. That is why what have we said? Active. In passive euthanasia, yes, we ourselves allowed in 2011 and 2017. We have made a principle for it. Active को मना किया है. So that it means, can I stop you from boozing? Yes, on the grounds of health I can. Like Bihar has been declared a dry state. So I can do it. And it will not be considered, because right to tun is not a right under liberty. It's a right to booze shall be a personal right. No. Where I will say that we have given you freedom for your development. If you want to say that I want to run, I want to become a sports person, go ahead. No restrictions I have any. I cannot put any restrictions on that. But if you want to destroy your own body, I can put restrictions. I can limit it. So now you got freedom and liberty idea correctly with you.
There are some athletes who use drugs
हाँ
to increase their speed.
हाँ, तो डोप टेस्ट होते हैं ना उनके बेटा, and that's why they are disqualified. They are disqualified because that is fairness of competition. We are disqualified on the basis of fairness of competition. Ji. So you should not, but here we are talking of Sanju movie, that we can stop you from taking certain drugs, we can ban their usage, anything can be done. Okay, and I can even declare a state as a dry state. Because freedom is to study, freedom is to play, freedom is to think, freedom is to do anything personal that will not harm your body. Till there, full freedom. But when you start harming your own body or others, then freedom will not become freedom, and that is the idea of liberty. Proceed. Liberty thus can be comprehended freedom till that extent to which it will result in development of a person's potential full stop. It can be in regard to freedom of profession, freedom of movement, freedom to marry or not to marry also, freedom of conscience, etc. But nothing shall be harming the cause of yours or anyone else. Right? Certain islands in Andamans are out of your reach. Sentinelese where they live, and even sir where Jarawas are there, that is also very restricted movement now. Previously people used to go so easily, but now it is not that free. Okay? Why? Why I have restricted? Is it somewhere restriction on your right to freedom to move freely? No, it's not. So your 19(1)D I am not taking away. I am simply trying to protect others from your movement. Okay? There can be certain areas where I can again stop you from going even in your motorboats or something. Marine life, I may be protecting them. They are also legal persons. Got it, sir? So this is liberty. Now friends, quickly we will move to the thought of constitutionalism and let's write its features. Some basics we have started understanding. अब थोड़ा सा रैपिड लिखते हैं बिकॉज प्रिंसिपल आपके पास हैं, मुझे सिर्फ उनको लगा देना है, एक साथ ऑर्गेनाइज कर देना है. प्लीज राइट आइडिया ऑफ अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डैश कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म. Let me answer some questions from Muhammad Masood. Death by active drug. Yes, but not for a person who is active. Rather, a person who has been declared in a vegetative state only, we will say, and that is passive euthanasia. Otherwise not. So, Manand, if a person in some medical condition like coma and all, they also can demand for death. Coma is different thing, and going to a vegetative state is different thing. Your body till the time is perfectly working well. Only you are in coma. You are not considered in a vegetative state. Vegetative state is when more than 2 to 3 organs of your body have been declared by a team of medical experts that they will not support, and you are only living because two or more or other organs may be operating in coordination. Then only we say that revival, there is no chance of revival. A person from coma can revive completely. Because if other organs are working in tandem, there is nothing. So that is, euthanasia cannot be applied for a person on coma. If other organs also have stopped working and a team of doctors say they cannot revive, then only it will happen. Otherwise it is not possible. Vegetative state बोलते हैं बेटा इसे, that a human being has been reduced to a level of a vegetable. Vegetable मतलब जिसकी अपनी कोई चॉइस करने की क्षमता ना रह जाए, any sort of choice. That is where we say now you are in a that stage. You are nothing more than a vegetable. Okay? इसीलिए एक कॉन्सेप्ट पढ़ाऊंगा आके, लिविंग विल. आप पहले ही एक विल कर सकते हो कि अगर मैं ऐसी ऐसी हालत में पहुंचता हूं, वेजिटेटिव स्टेट, तो दिस पर्सन कैन डिसाइड ऑन माई बिहाफ. इस कॉन्सेप्ट को बोलते हैं लिविंग विल. कुछ आगे भी पढ़ना है, डोंट वरी, इट इज जस्ट द स्टार्टिंग. आई हैव गिवन यू द बेसिक्स सो दैट यू स्टार्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग टू दैट लेवल. Because knowing polity is one thing, answering UPSC is another. So today we are trying to talk at UPSC level only. That's why slightly it may be looking difficult, but within 2-3 days it will be your language. आपको fun लगेगा इनके साथ खेलना. It will be a fun for you. Because then you will know, okay, this rule, this rule, this rule, it's like bird mass. Then you will say, sir, okay, इक्वालिटी का ध्यान रखना है, लिबर्टी, रूल ऑफ लॉ. ठीक है सर, डन. बोलो क्वेश्चन क्या है, वी कैन राइट इट. दैट शुड बी द आइडिया. तो अब जल्दी से एक और ऐसी चीज लिख लेते हैं, थीसिस विच वी ऑफन यूज इन आवर आंसर्स. ओके, दैट इज आइडिया ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन डैश कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म. जल्दी से लिख डालिए. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन can be defined as a set of governing principles which act as meta policy, which act as meta policy. Meta policy means, in bracket write, policy of policy making, which act as meta policy and is used as the yardstick for the assessment of actions to be valid or void. To be valid or void. Okay, so that's why, sir, constitution is that basic work, and that's why we have used the term meta policy, which is the source in the light of which you will actually determine any other action to be right or wrong. Clear? Right for that. Constitution as an idea can be traced even to ancient times, when some sort of cardinal rules, were prescribed for the management of kingdoms. Full stop. Kautilya's Arthashastra can be seen as a classic principle of the attempt, to provide some standard principles for the management of state. It included not only the core components of the state, in its Ashtang theory, core components of the state in its Ashtang, 8 organs. Ashtang theory, which later he reduced to 7 organs, Saptang. Which later he reduced to Saptang, 7 organs. आप जनरली ये पढ़ते हैं, ओके, बट इफ यू विल स्टार्ट स्टडीइंग अधिकरणास of Arthashastra, initially he said it should be Ashtang, but then he say that in actual practice of a state, this one principle may not be possible. So he said at least it should be 7 organs. So Saptang theory he actually talked about, and that is why when you generally go in the books, you actually talk of 7 organs, but he also wanted another philosophical dimension added to it, but he said it may become complex for those who want to apply it. So he said, okay, ideally it should be Ashtang, but Saptang to must hai. Okay, please write. Kautilya identified the duties. Kautilya identified the duties of the king, comma, Amatyas, 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 comma, superintendents, and all other officials termed as Tirthas. He wanted to create a system. Where it becomes easy to identify that whether the action is right or is wrong. Para. Next point. Constitution can be comprehended as that set of concrete mandates, which prevent any sort of arbitrary action, Underline this line, prevent any sort of arbitrary action. ये कोर है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का. This is the core. Okay. Modern day constitutionalism, again a para. Next point. Modern day constitutionalism is traced to the ideas which saw their development in the post-Renaissance era, for writing purpose, Renaissance, in the post-Renaissance era in countries like France and England, and later which witnessed their development in USA and in other nations as well. Constitutionalism for its descriptive studies refers to the analysis of historical events, struggles, and development of ideas which took place over a period of time and over the space as well. In prescriptive sense, next point, in prescriptive sense, next point sir, अभी समझा देता हूं, थोड़ा लिख लीजिए फिर समझा देता हूं. In prescriptive sense, it is associated with identification of core principles and values which guide which guide the functioning of state in a manner that the organs exercising authority are prevented from its abuse. Are prevented from its abuse and going arbitrary. Next point, Constitution is best explained. Constitution is best explained as an arrangement for providing inverted commas limited government. That is, the government is checked from unlimited exercise of powers. That is, the government is checked from unlimited exercise of powers. Full stop. Some of the essential principles related to constitutionalism can be traced as under number 1, principle of rule of law. Number 2, idea of separation of powers. Number 3, principle of democratic arrangement of power. Independent judiciary. Next point is independent judiciary. Next point is principle of entrenchment of authority. Principle of entrenchment. Entrenchment of authority. Next, writtenness of the Constitution. Writtenness of the Constitution. Next, equality and liberty used as pillars of state arrangement, full stop. You got something, sir? Entrenchment समझा देता हूं. This I have not explained ना. See, trench किसको बोलते हैं? खाई. Trench. खाई means जिसको पार करना मुश्किल हो. That is the basic idea. That cannot be similarly. So what we say that suppose this is my anyone's authority. I should create a limit on that. Let it be let's say executive, and let it be let's say judiciary. Judiciary shall not work like this. This is activism and encroachment also. That is the entrenchment. No one shall be able to change the scope of its own authority as well as its own functioning. You should not be able to change the scope of your authority. This is the reason that let it be collegium or let it be PIL, questions are always raised on their application, because judiciary on its own self increased its scope. ठीक है? Got it? ज्यादा philosophical तो नहीं हो रहा है? तो एक क्वेश्चन लिख लीजिए फिर. Consider the following statements, and now I am giving you a question that has appeared in the exam. Consider the following statements. Rachit, Mohammad Masood, Nishu, please write. Consider the following statements. Number 1. The purpose of the Constitution is to put limitations on the government in favor of the people. Second statement. The purpose of the Constitution is to put restrictions on the people in favor of the government. And now ABCD. A means only first statement is true. B means only second statement is true. C means both 1 and 2 are true. And D means both 1 and 2 are false. बच्चों ये यूपीएससी का आया हुआ क्वेश्चन है. Let's see. On the basis of your limited understanding, of course you are in day 2 only, are you able to answer it or not? Sabha Maharim has answered it A, Vidhi has answered it C, Rachit A, okay. Read well. If you want to read the notes also, you can read. Mohammad Masood only first is correct. Aditi A, Rachit A, Nikita A. Okay. Omar Rashid Khan is giving C. Nishu C. Fine. Let's have the house divide here. Who all are with A? Who all are with B? Somanand is with B. Who all are with C? Okay. And who all are with D? Anyone with D? A is the right answer. Good. जी मैम सेकंड स्टेटमेंट पढ़िए ना. फेवर ऑफ गवर्नमेंट में थोड़ी लोगों के पे रेस्ट्रिक्शन लगाएंगे. इन फेवर ऑफ पीपल आई टॉट यू, not in favor of government. On the other side, when I made, it was not the government at all. कहीं बनाया हुआ है ना ये. Where we have drawn it, let's see. So it is an individual I have shown, not the government. They will not, they see, when they are framing questions, na beta, we are basically testing that how clear you are on fundamentals. Let me give you another question, again which has appeared. Don't worry, it's also easy. डरिए मत, stick to basics and you will never go wrong.
Democratic government, which itself is due to people. That can be
कोई बात नहीं, हो जाता है. This is a question of UPSC ना. They also have given the answer, sir. मैं कैसे आपकी कुछ मदद नहीं कर पाऊंगा. सरकार सर बहुत शक्तिशाली है, बेसिक समझो ना. सरकार बहुत शक्तिशाली है. If anything has to be done, that has to be done to check that, not the people. How people can be powerful? उठा के बंद कर दीजिए एक बार में. If someone can be authoritarian, totalitarian, despotic, is the one who is the ruler. So if any restrictions have to be thought, they need to be thought more in the direction of that ruler. And that is the entire idea of constitutionalism. Think of Montesquieu. क्या बात कही उसने? Separation of powers. Why? कि monarch में, when all the three powers will be with the monarch, will be despotic. Think of Avidice. What he said? He saw France, na? When he talked of rule of law, he wanted to overcome the problems which were in Droit administrative. उन्हीं को तो ओवरकम करना चाहता था. That no one shall be having any special privileges. यही कहानी थी उसकी भी. That even those who are exercising authority on behalf of the state, they also shall not be having any privileges. तो सर डर किसका है? स्टेट का, कि आपके घर को ना तोड़ दे आकर. इंसान का डर नहीं. आप कह सकते हैं कि मैं राष्ट्रपति सदन में जाके बैठ जाऊंगा, आपकी हिम्मत नहीं है. सरकार कह सकती है अच्छा ठीक है भाई जमीन एक्वायर कर लो, तोड़ दो आधा घर. कह सकती है तुमने तो यार छज्जा गलत बना दिया, तोड़ो भाई तोड़ो, लीव इट. कैन वी डू इट with the parliament? No chance. So who can be more authoritative? Government. समझ गए? अब एक क्वेश्चन फिर लिख डालिए, इस बार ठीक कीजिएगा. And this is, now I am giving you the questions which have appeared. So be ready, online friends also who have marked wrong, but many of you were correct. Don't worry. Which of the following best explains a constitutional government? A parliamentary form of government. B, A government with independent judiciary. C. A federal government. D. A limited government. वही चॉइसेस दिए जो यूपीएससी ने दी थी। कुछ मुश्किल लग रहा है क्वेश्चन में? पढ़ते ही हो गया होगा। This is ABCD only, friends. So kindly put your answers. Rachit D, Shraddha D, Mohammed Masood D, Aditi D, Tanya D, Nikita D, Shashi C. Okay. Sabha Mahrim D. What is C? C क्या था? Federal government. Okay. Sabha Mahrim D. Anamika D. Okay. Let's have. See, in the examination you will be going alone. So think of your own only. No consultation before giving the answer. Who all are with A, B, C? You are raising hand on C. Why are you confused? कि बाकी लोग हाथ नहीं उठा रहे? They may be wrong. दिल की सुनिए मैम, दिल ने कहा answer should be that, those only. And who all are with D? And that's the right answer.
अगर ये क्वेश्चन ऐसे मतलब ऑप्शन ऐसे होगा कि 1 2 3 या 2
दो एक और लो, ये भी यूपीएससी का है, फिर परेशान हो गया। अब लिमिटेड गवर्नमेंट उड़ जाएगा इसमें से, समथिंग एल्स विल कम। यूपीएससी के ही क्वेश्चन है, अब तीनों हो गए आपके, 3 क्वेश्चन आए पिछले 5 साल में, तीनों हो जाएंगे सेम। देखिए कितने आसान क्वेश्चन आता है। अब जो आ रहा है वो स्लाइटली थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट है, दैट विल रिक्वायर सम थिंकिंग ऑफ योर्स। यहां तो सीधे वर्ड्स दिख रहे थे ना, यू आर सीइंग देम डायरेक्टली। प्लीज राइट, अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल गवर्नमेंट is expressed number 1, a republic government, B, independent judiciary, C, federal government, D, a legislature, with elected members, करिए। स्लाइटली ट्रिकी, वेरी स्लाइटली ट्रिकी, बट अगर कोर पकड़ के चलेंगे सर पहुंच जाएंगे। Nikita is saying, can you please repeat D? Okay, Nikita, I will repeat D. Sir, what is the D option?
legislature with elected members.
Okay. Nikita, D option is a legislature with elected members. Choose the best. Aditi, Tanya, Rachit, all those when they are going, try to think which is the most appropriate of them. What is A? A क्या बोलिए? रिपब्लिक, बी क्या है? सी फेडरल, तभी किसी ने दिया नहीं फेडरल, ओके। एंड डी? 3 तो बच गए आपके पास, यू आर विथ 3। थोड़ा सा फिर दिमाग लगाइए, लेट मी हेल्प यू टू एलिमिनेट। 2 आर ऑफ द सेम नेचर, so they definitely cannot be the answer. One is different and becomes the basis of a constitutional arrangement. Anyway, let's go for house divide. I should not answer it before others have answered. Who all are with A? Okay, B, C, D. सर ए और डी तो एक से ही हैं, बी इज द राइट आंसर। गुड, हम तो सारे यार बड़ा लेट कट करते हो हैं सीधे बाउंड्री। दैट्स नाइस, यू हैव गुड क्लैरिटी। सर मैंने कब कहा नहीं है, आप समझिए ना, मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट यूपीएससी का आया हुआ क्वेश्चन है सर। मैंने what I am giving, I am not trying to make twists, I am trying to show you, 2 तो आसान थे which we have seen earlier, this is also of UPSC। यहां UPSC ने क्या प्ले किया, that democratic भी है, legislature नजर आ रहा है, first is republic, that is also republic means elected head of state, तो दोनों में elected हो गया। So if you are able to think it, then you can eliminate here. Both of them cannot be the answer. Now, what becomes the basis of a constitutional government? That courts act as the custodian of constitution. That's right. And that is why independent judiciary is also now one of the most important significant of a limited government. By who will limit the government, beta? Judiciary. When I gave independent judiciary and limited government together, then you are forced to go to limited government. That is more comprehensive. But when limited government is not there, now you have to see what will limit the government. Judiciary. That is why independent judiciary is almost the same as talking of a limited government. Right, sir? This was a good question because it requires some, yes, thinking, some thinking, because otherwise we are in habit of na limited government kahan hai, restricted we can find out. So that is very easy, and UPSC has given it in I think 2020 or 2021 only, this idea of limited government. तो बड़े आसान क्वेश्चन भी आते हैं with
तभी डिसाइड करेंगे जब हमें डिफरेंस मालूम होगा। In the last class, the question was very similar. The 4 of the options were social.
Yes, social stratification. बाकी नहीं थे. So the most appropriate which was there, you are right, slowly you will develop understanding. And the problem is with options. UPSC, the question is never difficult. The problem is with the options, that out of them 2 or 3 may be so attractive that they may be calling you, come to my shop, shelters are open. So that is where the problem happens. Anyway, the question on this area will not be difficult. Try to understand what is the purpose of constitution, and then we will enter into Indian constitution. So now the time has arrived that we start entering into the domains of Indian constitution. Yes, sir. North Korea constitutional कहाँ की है? हाँ, you can, yes. Republic तो वैसे भी उड़ा सकते थे, correct. You just call yourself. Sir, whenever we compare, you can never expect a question of comparative thing with China and North Korea and all these states. China itself keeps shouting, we are a type of democracy. Rubbish. That's not a democracy at all. That is almost a totalitarian state. It is a totalitarian state. I feel sorry for the people who live there. Very sorry. They keep shouting that we do a lot for our people, but any day from where your rights can be taken, that's not a great state. Their billionaire was, he disappeared for so many months together, sir. Yes. बिलियनियर की हालत है, बाकियों का तो क्या है? Ministers disappear. You only hear that they have disappeared, not seen for these many days, for these ministers. So think of the individuals. Such a state can never be a great state. So that is why forget them. They will never be asked. When comparisons will be asked, will only be with those states where they claim to be people-centric. So constitution in principle or principle of constitutionalism is something to make the government people-centric. If I say this statement is right or wrong? That constitution attempts to make the governmental functioning people-centric. That's right. So constitutionalism principles, though may be a legal idea, it may be based on laws, legal principles which may appear very complex on the face, but ultimately they have a very noble cause to support the cause of the people. So if I say true constitutionalism will focus on welfare politics or welfare arrangement of a state, yes, forget that what type of economy you are having. If you are having a constitution which is strong, be sure welfare administration will 100% be operative. Is that right? Good morning. Good morning. Once again. You're not well? Fine. So now we are entering Indian Constitution. That is where we enter into it. I think you have gone through some the making of Constitution, if I am right. Okay. Let me hear from you only. What you have gone through? हिस्टोरिकल अंडरपिनिंग भी होगा ना, शाबाश, आसान समझते हैं. यू हैव ऑलरेडी डन इट. लेट्स स्टार्ट डूइंग इट सो दैट बाय टुमारो वी आर आउट ऑफ इट, एंड दैट टू आफ्टर अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट वी कैन डू अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ यूपीएससी. यहां तक तो कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है, एवरीथिंग इज क्लियर. ओके, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ इट एक आसान ट्रिक सीखिए. लिसन टू मी केयरफुली. इफ आई आस्क यू दैट डिस्क्राइब द फीचर्स ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, तो पहली लिस्ट तो पूरी यही चिपका दे सकते हो आप. वट एवर इज गिवन देयर, पेस्ट इट. अलॉन्ग विथ यू विल राइट थीसिस ऑफ फंडामेंटल राइट्स. यहां भी लिख सकते हो चाहो तो. इन कैरेक्टर्स ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म that you can write in Indian Constitution also. So first of all, you can write all these features in Indian Constitution. That is, we should be proud of that our Indian Constitution is a classic expression of all the good principles which have evolved in regard to management of government. We have already accepted, adapted all of them, right? Still, as we say, historical underpinnings. Tell me, what is the significance of talking about regulating act? Affairs of the company. He has started using constitution. That knowledge I will use, sir. It put limitations on the exercise of power of government. Okay, that's right. Give me one or two example from Regulating Act which they put some restrictions.
Board of directors and they divide.
और बताइए. कोर्ट ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स, बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स, कमिटी ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स, आगे आते रहेंगे ये शब्द.
Supreme Court powers.
Okay. Regulating Act 1773, private trade ban, foundation for British administration. Okay, introduces Supreme Court. Okay. चलिए आपको एक कहानी सुनाता हूं और let's see whether Regulating Act really reached anything or not. There was a person known as Raja Nand Kumar. Okay. He was a landlord, big landlord, I will say, of Bihar. ठीक है. Supreme Court, as one of our friends has said, Nikita, that it introduced Supreme Court, and you also are aware, correct? Supreme Court, my child, was said to be having its jurisdiction till Kolkata. Its jurisdiction was Kolkata. Pre के लिए question हो गया. What was the jurisdiction of Supreme Court? It was only till Kolkata. Okay. Warren Hastings was not having good relations with Raja Nand Kumar, or had a sort of envy against him, that he used to challenge his functional authority. So what happened, sir? Raja Nand Kumar was arrested on the ground that you are trying to somewhere take away our authority, and which is unlawful, and he was taken better to Bengal. That is, sorry, Kolkata. I should use the word Kolkata here, no Bengal. Kolkata. And Lord MP, who was the Chief Justice of Supreme Court of Kolkata, declared Raja Nand Kumar guilty without going into the technicalities that first of all, Nand Kumar, whatever he did was beyond the boundary of Kolkata. Second, there is no evidence that he really tried to usurp the authority. Okay, he simply challenged the unlawful orders of Warren Hastings, but they did not go into it, and he was declared guilty of supreme conduct against the company and was, sir, given death sentence. Okay? Was given death sentence, was tried, hanged, was tried and hanged. This Raja Nand Kumar trial, do you think is a big dent on existence of Regulating Act as a constitutional beginning of British government in India? Where it failed? Tell me, where Regulating Act failed? It failed to check the arbitrary power of Warren Hastings, and also it failed to check even the arbitrary power of Lord MP, because they were playing ये दोस्ती हम नहीं तोड़ेंगे. Both were friends. Warren Hastings and Justice MP were friends. Correct? So you say, okay, they provided for it, but sir, Raja Nand Kumar trial, then I cannot say it is a true historical development or constitutional arrangement in India. जमी नहीं बात. You had it and you don't respect any of the principle, what is the purpose? Is that right? Anyway, otherwise we say yes, they banned private trade. You are right, as some of our friends have talked about it. Private trade. So, for whom it was directed? Okay, let's try to understand one more thing. Is it the beginning of constitutional government in India? Can regulating act be really seen? What was the purpose of regulating act? किसको परेशानी हुई होगी सर कि वो रातों रात बैठकर they actually forced? Who must have actually been worried? Investors of East India Company, who were mainly lords. भाई पैसा किसका लगा हुआ था ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी में? वहां के रईसों का ही तो लगा हुआ था, इंग्लैंड के. They were the rich people and mainly they controlled the parliament. So regulating act was not brought to improve their relations or to limit powers of British officers in favor of Indians. No. It was simply to ensure that company officers do not enter into any sort of agreement with Indians which will harm the profits of the company. So it was purely oriented towards English. Regulating Act was not for us. We falsely feel very happy कि बड़ा अच्छा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल सिस्टम स्टार्ट किया, तुम्हारे बड़े जमींदार को टांग दिया उन्होंने और आप कह रहे हो स्टार्ट किया. Come on. They actually used it for their own interests. English investors sitting in England were not happy with the stories that officers were returning with big booties. Lord Clive, ठीक है, एक ट्रुआंट बेटा, ट्रुआंट माने जो स्कूल से भाग जाता हो, ऐसा बच्चा. A person who entered into the company of service, company service as at the lowest level, apprentice के रूप में भर्ती हुआ, and he rose to the power of Governor General. And when he returns back, he is so rich that he can challenge any lord. इतना पैसा है इसके पास. So others started feeling bad, those who were sitting there. So it is simply an act of greed. आप समझ में आया किसके लिए बना था रेगुलेटिंग एक्ट? हमारे लिए नहीं था भाई. It was directed towards the interest of Britishers. They wanted. तो real constitutional development है क्या ये? We want to check arbitrary application of authority, but they did it. On Indians they did it. है ना sir? So when you start understanding, okay, so it means when I am going through this constitutional development and historical underpinnings, I should have a good idea that what it was oriented for. Because real constitutional development beta is what? Where I become centric towards the people. है ना सर? आप साउथ अफ्रीका में सर सरकार बना रहे हो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन और हित देख रहे हो, इंटरेस्ट देख रहे हो इंग्लैंड में बैठे हुए लोगों का. किस बात का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म है? It is not at all. What type of constitutionalism is this? You see the Constitution of America? बड़ी जोर से सेलिब्रेट किया 1787, 1793, and blacks were treated as slaves. What type of constitutional development they were having? And they try to preach us now in our foreign policy that India should do this, India should support Canada. Rubbish, keep shut up. How can you talk like this? People with double standards. You never followed anything of constitution in your own country. And you are talking to us. Right, sir? So when you start understanding, then you think that okay, so that is why UPSC's questions are very intelligent questions. They never want that we should celebrate regulating act. किस बात का celebration है? तुम्हारे आदमी को टांग दिया भाई. Immediately after Supreme Court का पहला काम क्या था? If I want to see, remember Supreme Court in India in Kolkata, Raja Anand Kumar's trial. कितना बड़ा काम कर दिया वाह. Pure example of injustice. तो मजा नहीं आएगा, बस पढ़ लूंगा प्री के लिए. That what they did, I will not like to use it in my answer. What I will like to use, Repunch use कर लूंगा, I may use it. The one who is talking that people should be given some sort of equivalence, that is good, I can use. Mayo I can use. But anything that will come with Rowlett and all, I will not use. I will not use. 1833 Act, okay, William Bentinck, fine. One or two principles are such that I can use. I can use. But previously, everything is directed towards the interest of whom beta? The Britishers, not us. So it was a constitutional development for them. But true constitutionalism is when the power is checked from its arbitrary application. Then only it's true constitutionalism. So it was never so, and that is why we say, एक sentence बोलते हैं sir, that though it is said that constitutional development started with regulating act in India, true constitutional spirit Indian soil saw in 20th century only. उससे पहले नहीं देखी हमने. Every time they were simply trying to manipulate. And can constitution be manipulative? No chance. We are seeing constitution as a book of ethics, of law. So if I say constitution is the finest example of ethics of law expressed for any state. So how it can be based on any sort of manipulations? No chance. This is what UPSC expects out of you. ऐसे नहीं कि लिस्ट उतार दिया आपने अपने आंसर में 1 2 3 बेकार. They also know it that what is to celebrate in regulating act. हमारे लिए क्या था? कुछ नहीं, बल्कि हमारे व्यापारियों को नुकसान और हो गया. हाउ? पहले दस्तक का मिसयूज तो कर लेते थे. Earlier we also were able to use their dastaks. We used to give them bribe, and English officers gave to users, allowed use the passes which they were having, and we also had our bogies passed with those dastak. I am not saying it was corruption, but क्या करें जब दूसरा चोर है तो फिर it's okay. You can use it. It prevented even that. So uneven field. Regulating Act is creating uneven field for Indian merchants in the name of constitutionalism. Is this constitutionalism? Indian merchants अगर यहां लेके आएंगे तो टैक्सेस देने पड़ेंगे, लोकल टैक्सेस भी देने पड़ेंगे. इफ समथिंग इज ब्रॉट बाय इंग्लिश मर्चेंट्स, इट इज फ्री. Is it any sort of equity and equality? Try to comprehend from this perspective. And then you will comprehend, oh, so then you will say, sir, it means Government of India Act 1919 and even Government of India Act 1935 is not free from criticism. Yes, and that is why our senior leaders of the Indian national movement at that time criticized them. They were right. They were absolutely right. Because they said that the essential values of constitutionalism which you practice for your own country are not introduced here. You should. Then only it can be considered as a truly constitutional government. So in true sense, my young friends, India witnessed a true constitutional government in a post-independence era only. सर गुलामी में कहीं की कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल गवर्नमेंट मिलेगी? मिल नहीं सकती ना. देयर इज नो चांस. आपके क्विट इंडिया मूवमेंट को एक तरफ हमसे सपोर्ट मांग रहे हैं, एक तरफ से बताइए हेलीकॉप्टर में बैठ के गोलियां चलवा रहे हैं. तो doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. On one side, you are actually having a committee that is working on Montagu-Chelmsford reforms की बात कर रहा हूं, that is working on that how we will have Government of India Act 1919, and on the other side you are having Jallianwala Bagh. Absolute arbitrariness, limits of arbitrariness. So kids, 99% chances are there that this area cannot be asked. Now you know it for what reason? सेलिब्रेट करने को कुछ है नहीं. किस बात की ताली बजाओगे? जलियांवाला बाग की. For what you will be celebrating? For what you will be celebrating in Government of India Act 1935 also, that still they have the power. For what you will be celebrating? Yes, कुछ हमने सीखा. That is what we can say. That sir पिट तो रहे थे लेकिन देख रहे थे हो क्या रहा है. We were beaten badly, but sir मैंने भी देख ही लिया अंदर क्या कर रहे हैं ये. So on the basis of that, we can say that we learned something. Nikita has written, regulated company, official trade in private affairs and established court of directors, no independent judiciary, benefit British government as they were having. Robert Clive was one of such person. Clive तो बेटा उसकी richness की वजह से ही तो सारी दिक्कत हुई. Clive became सबसे वहां का एक ऐसा आदमी जो नौकर बन के आया था कंपनी में और वो कंपनी के डायरेक्टर से रिच था. So that is why they started having it. And then Warren Hastings, he started using authority like anything. So that is why Warren Hastings also faced impeachment. He faced impeachment in the British Parliament. He was the one who faced impeachment. But nothing happened. Nand Kumar trial was only discussed once. Impeachment प्रोसेस जो सोचिए 42 डेज चला था और नंद कुमार ट्रायल केवल एक बार वर्णन हुआ, दैट टू ओनली वंस. इट शुड हैव बीन ऑन मोर ओकेजन्स. देन यू कुड हैव सेड दैट द ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंटेरियंस वर रियली कंसर्न्ड अबाउट एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल डेवलपमेंट इन इंडिया. ओके, सो नाउ because we know the principles, and one more thing kids, in 19th century they called us white man's burden. ठीक है, हम पढ़े लिखे नहीं थे, मान लिया हमने. We were busy in our traditional things. We were not having idea of modern. तुम तो जानते थे, you were knowing everything, you are having every idea. What you are opposing in other countries, that this is a bad idea, why you did not introduce that great idea with me? You should have told me. Let's see, equality is very important. Do not discriminate against your own women. बता सकते थे आप मुझे. You could have told me. You could have told me that don't discriminate on the basis of caste, don't discriminate on the basis of religion, because I was not knowing equality. आपके अंग्रेजी philosophers ने, फ्रेंच फिलोसफर्स का आइडिया है इक्वालिटी एंड लिबर्टी. आई वॉज नॉट नोइंग, मैं इतना पढ़ा लिखा ही नहीं था. नो वरीज, बट यू आर हैविंग दैट आइडिया. यू इन योर यूनिवर्सिटीज यूज्ड टू टॉक अबाउट इट. सो इंस्टेड ऑफ लाफिंग ऑन अस, if you trusted and believed constitutionalism, you should have developed us, evolved us on the same lines. Correct? So, sir, now you young officers, when you will be in the field, what will be your duty? Will you not take constitutional morality to the field and apply it and ensure that those who are not learning, they learn it? Will you not create in every taluk, in every village, some sort of awareness arrangement that they start learning these things? This is a constitutional philosophy. So, historical underpinnings, my friends, for the purpose of pre, yes, we will be talking almost of all of those. So, you can show me the notes which have been given to you, so that if anything is written, and I will also request that they provide you all this, because generally it will not be asked. Government of India Act 1935, क्योंकि यहाँ तक अंग्रेज फंस गए थे अब, that we can discuss. Because by the time Government of India Act 1935 was coming, English were also knowing that these Indians have started knowing a lot. So yes, some concrete initiatives were there, no doubts in it. In Government of India Act, some concrete initiatives were there, though manipulative power was with them only, correct. But फिर भी कुछ अच्छा कर दिया. They did it. करना नहीं चाहते थे. They never wanted to do. But they did. उनको पढ़ लेंगे. We will highlight them. और पीछे का मैंने आपको बता ही दिया कैसे लिख देंगे. That if any constitutional development was there, it was more for their own interests. So in true sense, what a constitution's philosophy is, that it should be limiting the government for the sake of people. It never happened. And if anything started happening, that was in 20th century only. Right, sir? So when you start taking it, I am not teaching you history, you will be covering all this. Sir, have you ever thought why anyone of you who has been from a city where English cantonments and civil lines were also there? From which city? Varanasi. You? Prayagraj, Allahabad. Okay. Okay, Prayagraj, now known as Prayagraj only. Fine. Sir, during heavy rains, in your Prayagraj, whether have you seen water logging happening in civil lines? In other areas of Prayagraj? Why?
Civil lines will be properly drained. The drainage systems are unified with the proper reason. बनाया गया है इसको सोच समझ.
They used to have, think of the sewage line where we were living better, Indians. Maximum diameter was 18 inches, means radius 9 inches. Sewage line. And where these people were living, the dia was 42 inches. And in civil lines, sir, whether houses are very small or big, spacious, shabash. And how many people were living in one house? Very few. And what they eat? Very rich food. So, small in quantity, rich in, of course, nutrition, but small in quantity. And Indian thali? And how many people will live? No, sir, you will be a municipal commissioner also one day. Sir, so in the morning, what will happen? I think you all are understanding it. That is why I say English were not great. For us, it requires a lot of study to reach that level of understanding. वो तो जानते थे. That when they will have this much of food quantity, basic carb, this much bhat, rice, dal, some other thing, and then you eat it. So quantity will be more. So of course, outside also will more go. Quantity will require more water. Think of pipeline small houses, more people living. So more things are going in that pipeline. It will get clogged better. Stool has a sticky property. So it does not require that you need to be a chemist, but yes, you should have a scientific mind. Stool will have a sticky property. It will stick, and due to lack of water, water supply will also be less. There 24 hours water supply in civil lines, and here it will be 4 hours only a day. So we will be happy only to see that I have removed it from my house and that your stool is waiting in the pipeline outside just when you walk in the street. So any rain will come. Pipeline is already clogged, sir. That is why I say they were bad people. This is the size of sewage line is simply based on the density of population living there. It is not based on that it is Connaught Place, it is civil lines, it is Lutyens zone what we say, or it is zone of common people. Actually common people will have more density. So if here I am having 42 inches, there it should have been 60 inches or at least 42 inches. So their engineering, their laws which they made, all were manipulative. Everything they manipulated us. They never taught us that how to be scientifically evolving. Anyway, with lot of criticism of English people, I will end up the class for today, and tomorrow we will take up this historical session. So you can actually hear a lot against English from me, but on concrete basis, I will teach you the historical developments. कुछ अच्छी बातें जो सीख सकते हैं, वही जैसे मैंने कहा पिट रहे हैं, देख तो सकते हैं अंदर कोई व्यक्ति पढ़ रहा है तो ये तो बाहर जाके बता ही सकता हूं यार, पढ़ना चाहिए. Because I saw the officer was beating me, but I saw that officer was asking his son to study. It means studying is important. Or whatever good practice that you have seen anywhere, that is the only thing that we try to take out from these constitutional developments. Otherwise, let it be Indian Council Act of 1861, including some Indians, not giving them any right to vote, doesn't make any sense. Will not make any sense. Okay? So whatever it may be, we will continue tomorrow. Any doubts that you are having? You can ask me. Rachit Chaudhary, Shashi Tharoor's speech. That was fantastic actually. Rachit. That was great. He also talked on technical lines, and I have used sewage lines to show you how much they respected us. Deliberately बनाई ना बेटा, deliberately बनाई कि तुम्हारा तो इंटीग्रेशन रोज सुबह तुम्हारे ही सामान से होगा. When you will go out, you are thinking that you have relieved it. No, in the morning when you will go on the street, it will once again be sticking to your chappals and will come to your house. पढ़े लिखे को तो पता हो सकता है ना, अनपढ़ को ना पता हो. But like now, you as officers, you should be knowing it. Okay? Sir, can you think of municipal budget of Brihat Mumbai Municipal Corporation? कितना है बताइए? You are from Maharashtra? Tell me how much it is? Guess कर सकते हो कितना है? What is the budget for Brihat Mumbai Municipal Corporation? 500 crores. बस more than 50,000 crores. अगर वैसे सोचो तो एक अच्छा मोटिवेशन है महाराष्ट्र कैडर लेने का और आईएएस में जम के पढ़ाई करने का. कैडर मिल, आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग यू, बट आई एम नॉट टीचिंग यू करप्शन. अभी एथिक्स की बात कर रहा था. आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग यू एट योर यंग एज this is the budget and the commissioner is the full authority. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Huh? सर ये 400-500 करोड़ कुछ थोड़ी होता है. बात करो 53,000 करोड़. Single shot, 1 year posting over. But please don't take it as that I am teaching you corruption. I am trying to motivate you, if not this way, in the other way. Thank you very much. Bye bye. God bless you. Just a minute. Aditi has asked me a question. Sir, what source, according to you, can help for technical terminologies of polity as well as correcting spellings, etc.? I haven't read Lakshmikant yet. Aditi, you can have this book and you can ask me spellings. Don't be shy. I told you on day one. Okay? But still you can check internet, or Lakshmikant is definitely not a bad book. But I only emphasize on Bare Act, because most of the things I will be speaking either from NCERT, Encyclopedia Britannica, book of Homer, or I will be using your constitution. और कुछ नहीं यूज करता हूं मैं. एक तो कोर बुक या फिर एनसीईआरटी, गवर्नमेंट के एक्ट्स, आई यूज देम ओनली. आई डोंट यूज एनी गाइड बुक in your notes. That's why you will not follow that pattern also. Why? Because yes, people they in Oxford teach very well, my child. In Harvard they teach very well. Why not we should teach you on the same grounds? बहुत अच्छे से पढ़ाते हैं वो. बच्चे को एक एक चीज आती है. So don't worry, ask me spellings if they are there. So initially I tried to give you some basics. कल अंग्रेजों की क्लास लगाते हैं, उन्होंने बहुत लगाई है हमारी, and then we will see. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
if I will ask you this sources of constitution, can you tell me? ठीक है, जैसे अभी बता रहे थे, उसको पहले थोड़ा रिवाइज कर लेते हैं, देन विल मूव टुवर्ड्स salient features ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. ठीक है, इन बिटवीन व्हाट वी कैन डू इज लाइक इफ यू आर मेकिंग सिनॉप्सिस और नोट्स, वो कैसे बनाना है, थोड़ा कैसे कंसोलिडेट करना, वी कैन डू दैट. गेटिंग इट? तो पहले से थोड़ा आइडिया हो जाएगा. ठीक है, तो आप लोगों को रिलीफ हो जाएगा. ठीक है, ठीक है. फंडामेंटल राइट कहाँ से लिया गया था? देयर वाज फंडामेंटल राइट एग्जांपल. ओके, विल जॉट इट डाउन फॉर यू. और क्या था? गुड. जुडिशरी के एंड राइट्स के मेजर एलिमेंट्स, राइट. जुडिशरी का क्या? इंडिपेंडेंस एंड रिव्यू. Which act introduced this Supreme Court in India? We discussed this. Supreme Court foundation, which led for Regulating Act 1773, right? And fundamental rights? No, ये तो लिया गया यूएस से. ठीक है, हाँ, आई एम आस्किंग अबाउट बेसिकली आर्टिकल्स. ठीक है, 14 to 18 is right to equality. Okay, then okay, so 14 to 18 is equality, then is freedom, then हाँ, क्या है वो? ओके, ठीक है. उसके बाद फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन, आर्टिकल 25 to 28, फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन. ठीक है, आर्टिकल 25 to 28 फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन. देन माइनॉरिटी राइट्स प्रोटेक्शन, आर्टिकल 29 एंड 30. ठीक है, एंड आर्टिकल 32 राइट टू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रेमेडीज. ठीक है, आइडिया है, बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर पता है, मतलब बेसिक आपको पता है. ठीक, देन और क्या था? इम्पीचमेंट ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट, वाइस प्रेसिडेंट, पोस्ट ऑफ वाइस प्रेसिडेंट, इम्पीचमेंट ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट, रिमूवल ऑफ, गुड. Idea of republic was taken from France. Idea of justice, good, USSR, है ना. And DPSP, Irish, and justice, USSR, liberty, equality, fraternity and republic, France. कनाडा से क्या लिया था? Yes, what it is called? Quasi federal, right? और एक एक करके बोलो. एडवाइजरी जुरिसडिक्शन और ओके, गवर्नर्स, राइट. ओके, अपॉइंटमेंट ऑफ गवर्नर्स. देन रेसिडुअरी पावर्स. ठीक है, देन एडवाइजरी जुरिसडिक्शंस ऑफ सुप्रीम कोर्ट. ठीक है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया से कॉन्करेंट लिस्ट, फ्रीडम ऑफ ट्रेड एंड कॉमर्स, जॉइंट सेटिंग. Do you realize this freedom of trade and commerce and this concurrent list is basically cooperative federalism, right? Cooperation between states and center, right? Japan se, what we took from Japan? Procedure established by law, right? And from where we took this due process of law? हाँ, यूएसए का कंसेप्ट है, राइट? ठीक है, तो यू बेसिक पता है सबको। देन मूविंग फॉरवर्ड विल राइट सेलिएंट फीचर्स ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ठीक है? तो राइट डाउन, फर्स्ट वाज it was lengthiest written constitution, right? It was lengthiest written constitution, ठीक है? Originally it had preamble, 395 articles and 8 schedules, but presently it has 470 articles and 12 schedules. अब constitution we discussed can be written or unwritten, right? India is the written constitution, ठीक है? और कौन सा written constitution? Other constitutions which are written constitution? USA, right? What are the unwritten constitutions? UK and no, France is written. Saudi Arabia, New Zealand, Israel, है ना? अब Indian constitution was the lengthiest, right? Why it was lengthiest? Bulky, right?
And if they included all those things, they do not want to see which is the for that.
Why bulky? First, Government of India Act in itself was bulky and contained much details. Second, India is very vast, right? कितना है? नॉर्थ साउथ एक्सपैंड करेंगे, इफ यू सी नॉर्थ साउथ डिस्टेंस कितना है? 14 किलोमीटर्स। एंड ईस्ट वेस्ट कितना है? ईस्ट वेस्ट ज्यादा ब्रॉड है कि नॉर्थ वेस्ट, नॉर्थ साउथ ज्यादा ब्रॉड है? गुड, ये लगभग कितना? 2933, राइट? तो इट इज वेरी वास्ट, राइट, एंड डाइवर्स. India is called as forest of languages. It has multiple languages, right? Yes, diversity in terms of language, in terms of religion, caste, ethnicity, and whatnot. ठीक है? And there was lot of legal luminaries, lawyers थे. इस वजह से it was bulky. हाँ? It is bulky. What? Legal luminaries मतलब lawyers थे. There were many lawyers. ठीक है? Indian National Congress में major part were dominated by lawyers, जो कि that's what they call, it's called as legal luminaries. Then second point, single constitution for both center and states. Salient features of written constitution. Second part, single constitution for both center and states. Which country has different constitution, by the way? For USA, right? है ना? अलग constitution है for states and center. ठीक है? Then it is drawn from various sources. Next point is it is drawn. The constitution is drawn from. Good, Nikita. It is drawn from various sources. जितने भी हमने सोर्सेस से कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन लिए हैं, वी कैन क्लासिफाई इट टू 3 हेड्स. फर्स्ट, स्ट्रक्चरल. then philosophical, and next third is political. अब what is structural? What do you mean by structure? एक घर होता है, you know, मकान है मान लो, right? It's a house, right? It's a structure, मकान structure, right? तो this is structural part. कौन दे रहा था? Government of India 1935 Act, right? It just gave a structure to the country, the constitution. Then philosophical part. इन अगर हम लोग बात करें in terms of house, तो क्या होगा? अगर फैमिली कोई रहने आती है, that adds soul to it, right? वो घर जो मकान जो है घर बन जाता है, getting it? So that soul वाला part is philosophy, है ना? वो कौन दे रहा था? French, US, like basically fundamental rights and DPSP are the soul. ठीक है? So we'll talk about that US fundamental rights and Irish DPSP. Getting it? Then political, हाँ, political part. अब इसमें फैमिली मेंबर्स रह रहे होंगे, राइट? तो एक इंस्टीट्यूशन या एक टर्म सिस्टम ऑफ वर्किंग बना होगा टू लिव, हर घर में सिस्टम ऑफ वर्किंग इज देयर, ठीक है? तो वैसे ही पॉलिटिकल सिस्टम कौन सा दे रहा था? ब्रिटिश, यस, पार्लियामेंट्री फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. इट प्रोवाइडेड अ सिस्टम, ठीक है? हाँ, यूएस, यस, यू कैन से दैट अ पार्ट, जुडिशरी वाला पार्ट. कैनेडा, यस, मतलब बेसिकली यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट तीन पार्ट है, स्ट्रक्चरल, फिलोसॉफिकल, पॉलिटिकल, ठीक है? मेजर पार्ट जो दिया था ना वो ब्रिटिश ने दिया था, राइट? एंड जो अदर्स हैं, जापान, कनाडा, दे आर आल्सो देयर, ठीक है? बट एज अ लीस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट, दीस आर द मेन वी कैन क्लासिफाई, ठीक है? अगर आंसर लिखते हो, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पे आता है, you can segregate into these points, these 3 points. Fine. The next point, the Indian Constitution is a blend of rigidity and flexibility. The Indian Constitution is a blend of rigidity and flexibility. अब what is a rigid constitution? Good, easily change नहीं किया जाता, right? ठीक है? कौन सा है rigid constitution? Can you tell me? USA, ठीक है? So for the fact, more than 11,000 amendments had been proposed, but only 27 amendments have been passed, right? कब से US का constitution? From which year? हाँ, 1780s, 1779 लगभग, right? तब से अभी तक सिर्फ 20, there are only 27 amendments. It is that much rigid, ठीक है? And we compare to flexible part, UK. So if you see this is if this is USA, this is UK, India some lies between both, right? India is a blend of basically flexibility and rigidity, ठीक है? UK is flexibility, has flexible constitution, ठीक है? क्यों? Yes, it is not codified, right? Parliament can easily, the role of parliament is supreme there, right? In India, the constitution is supreme, ठीक है? अब how Indian constitution is flexible? लक्ष्मीकांत थोड़ी रीड की है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट के बारे में? सिंपल मेजोरिटी, स्पेशल मेजोरिटी, ये टर्म सुना होगा, राइट? सर जो है डिटेल में कराएंगे इन क्लासेस, इन नेक्स्ट क्लासेस. हाँ, 368 यस, बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर कांट बी चेंज, ठीक है? यूएस में बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर कांट, यूएस, ओके. हाउ इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इज फ्लेक्सिबल? आर्टिकल 368 नहीं है, दैट इज सिंपल मेजोरिटी, राइट? सिंपल मेजोरिटी इज आउट ऑफ परव्यू ऑफ आर्टिकल 368. क्या 368? बट सिंपल मेजोरिटी जो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी है, इट इज आउट ऑफ दैट, ठीक है, देखो देयर आर टू थिंग्स, स्पेशल मेजोरिटी, सिंपल मेजोरिटी, राइट. It is out of purview of Article 368, that is constitutional amendment. Now special majority is of basically no there are two kinds. भाई पढ़ा लो आप. There are two kinds. ठीक है, एक बार सुन लो उसके बाद we'll discuss. ठीक है, there are two kinds basically. एक में फेडरल स्टेट्स के साथ कंसल्ट करना होता है, एक में नहीं करना होता. That's the basic idea. ठीक है, you know the structure और you know the numbering of लोकसभा राज्यसभा जो कि होगा. स्पेशल मेजोरिटी में क्या होती है? टू थर्ड ऑफ द पीपल प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग. टू थर्ड ऑफ द पीपल प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग. ठीक है, प्लस टोटल मेंबरशिप ऑफ द हाउस. दिस इज वन कंडीशन. सर विल गो इन डिटेल्स. ठीक है, आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग द पार्ट. तो व्हाट इट इज, ये बहुत रिजिड है, राइट. अभी आपको पता है लगभग कितना लोकसभा में मेंबरशिप है? व्हाट आर द मेंबर्स ऑफ 550 इज मैक्सिमम. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन 543 है ना अभी. $550 मैक्सिमम इन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. ठीक है, एट प्रेजेंट 543. कैन यू टेल मी द ब्रेकअप? पहले ये 545 था, बट फॉर एंग्लो इंडियंस इट वॉज अबॉलिश्ड इन 2019. ठीक है, 104 गुड कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट एक्ट. ठीक है, कैन यू टेल मी द ब्रेकअप? कितने यूनियन टेरिटरीज के लिए बढ़ गए? इट इज बेसिकली 524 19 and earlier 2 was nominated, 2 Anglo Indians were nominated. Now it has been abolished. तो ये पहले 545 था, now it reduced to 543. Now it is 0, right? 524 and 19. If we talk about Rajya Sabha, इसमें कितना है? हाँ, 245 है, लाइक एट प्रेजेंट 245. ठीक है, बट मैक्सिमम. ठीक है, तो एट प्रेजेंट कितना है? इसका ब्रेकअप. यस, गुड. तो बचा कितना? सी सेट प्रैक्टिस 230. ठीक है ना. अब दिस सिंपल मेजोरिटी. ठीक है, 2/3 प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग प्लस टोटल मेंबरशिप ऑफ हाउस. ठीक है, नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट लोकसभा. अभी कितने मेंबर्स हैं? दिस मच. 2/3 ऑफ 543 करो. 0.66 इंटू 543 करो. 359, right? Plus total membership of house. It is majority of total membership of house, right? Majority. हाँ. So 543 है, ठीक है. डिवाइडेड बाई 2 करो. 2.5 लगभग, राइट. तो 273 होना है, ठीक है. तो दोनों कंडीशन जब मीट करेगी, देन यू विल गेट पास्ट. गेटिंग इट? समझ में आया? छोटा नंबर लेते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, ये तब का केस है जब एवरीवन इज प्रेजेंट एंड वोटिंग, लेकिन ऐसा होता नहीं है. देयर आर मेनी एब्सेंटीज, है ना. मान लो 200 लोग प्रेजेंट है, 200 वेर प्रेजेंट इन वोटिंग, ठीक है, तो 2/3 ऑफ 200, 100/3, राइट, लगभग 133 है ना, एंड टोटल मेंबरशिप ऑफ हाउस उतना ही रहेगा 273। तो इस कंडीशन में बिल पास हो पाएगा? कैसे हो जाएगा? हाँ, ये बिलो है बिकॉज दिस इज नॉट मीटिंग, राइट, 273 है, ये मीट नहीं कर रहा है ना, तो इट विल नॉट गेट पास। सेम इन राज्यसभा। तो स्पेशल मेजोरिटी में कौन से प्रोविजन है विच कैन नॉट गेट पास्ड इन दिस केस? क्या क्या हो सकते हैं? गुड, आज याद करके आया, गुड, ओके, बढ़िया। और डीपीएसपी, ठीक है। बट इफ यू टॉक अबाउट सिंपल मेजोरिटी, यस यू कैन, यस यू कैन, मतलब अगर एग्जाम में लाइक नहीं आ रहा, यू कैन थिंक ऑन दोज लाइन, गुड, फंडामेंटल राइट्स एंड डीपीएसपी आर वन ऑफ दोज, ठीक है। अब इफ यू टॉक अबाउट सिंपल मेजोरिटी, जिसको वो फ्लेक्सिबल है, दैट इज आउट ऑफ परव्यू, दैट इज आउट ऑफ परव्यू, ठीक है। तो कौन से होंगे? ठीक है, पार्ट 1, फॉर्मेशन ऑफ स्टेट्स, राइट। फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ यू कैन रिकॉल, तेलंगाना बना था, आंध्र प्रदेश से अलग हुआ था, कश्मीर वॉज मेड इनटू यूनियन टेरिटरी, राइट, लद्दाख वॉज मेड, तो उसमें कुछ कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट हुआ था क्या? नो, फॉर नहीं हुआ था, याद नहीं है, right? नहीं हुआ था, ठीक है। तो ऐसे कर सकते हैं कंट्री, ठीक है। विच वन निकिता? 233, this one 133, special majority. So special majority is 2/3 present in voting, ठीक है। It is just for reference, sir will go in the details, ठीक है। And total membership of house, तो अगर 200 लोग प्रेजेंट है, if 200 are present, then 2/3 of these people 133, ठीक है। And total membership of the house, total membership of the house is around 273, but present इतना ही है, तो conditions are not, conditions not satisfying, getting it, तो बिल पास नहीं होगा, ठीक है। आज यही एंड करते हैं, प्लीज रिवाइज इट, ठीक है। लक्ष्मीकांत समटाइम्स कैन बी ह्यूज, लेकिन बार बार पढ़ना पड़ता है, एंड बाय दीज मेथड्स, बार बार रीड करने से, बार बार रिकॉल करने से, इट विल बेसिकली रिटेन हो जाएगा आप लोगों को, ठीक है। हाँ, नोट्स ये ऐसे जॉट डाउन कर रहे हो ना? किसमें? नहीं, नोट्स बनाओ। अच्छा, मैंने लक्ष्मीकांत के नोट्स बनाए थे, आई कैन शो यू, दीज आर माई नोट्स। आई थिंक किसी ने बोला था कि लाइक पॉलिटी के नोट्स चाहिए, दिखाने थे उनको, जस्ट शो यू। आई थिंक ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स नहीं दिखेगा ये, इट्स नॉट विजिबल, बट दिस इज फॉर्म ऑफ सिनॉप्सिस। आई विल 1-2 सैंपल आई विल बेसिकली स्कैन एंड शेयर विथ यू इन ग्रुप, ठीक है, 4 notes. Ending this session now.